Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
This weekend is a big weekend in Major League Baseball as the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies will take place in Cooperstown. And for the Cleveland Indians, one of their best sluggers of all time, one of Major League Baseball's all-time greats, Jim Thome, is headed to the Hall. 612 career homers for Jim, and he always seemed to hit a big home run whenever the Indians needed one, whether it was the regular season or the postseason. Matt Underwood is reporting live from Cooperstown, New York. Matt will join us in just a moment. And here in Detroit, the Indians opening up a 3-game weekend series against the Detroit Tigers. The Tribe with plenty of success against Detroit so far this year. They will look to continue their winning ways. Hi again, everybody, and welcome in. Along with Rick Manning, I'm Al Pulowski. Thanks for joining us here today. When we talk Indians baseball and we talk about their offense, Francisco Lindor is always one, and it seems Jose Ramirez is the other.
They're both at the forefront, no doubt about it, and he's been part of a Detroit demolition crew here against the Tigers in his last 3 years. He's hitting the ball all over the place. Last year he had a 5 extra base hit ball game. I mean, he's hitting .366 against them, but what the Tigers are doing, they're starting to get smart. They're trying to make other people beat them because in his last 3 years, you know, they haven't walked him a whole lot. They've gone about it, but they're walking him now. He has 13 home runs, a .366 batting average, and this is the one guy I think more teams should start pitching around a little bit because he can do a lot of damage to you.
And he definitely has. Coming up next, Matt Underwood will be live in Cooperstown, New York. We'll check in with Matt about Jim Thome heading to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by who but WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. Brought to you by the 2019 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. By Levin Furniture, for the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Chevy Network dealers, visit Chevy.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. Here in Detroit tonight, it's the Indians and the Tigers opening up a 3-game weekend series. And in Cooperstown, New York, it's Jim Thome heading into baseball's Hall of Fame. Matt Underwood is standing by live right now in Cooperstown. Matt, what's it like there in New York?
It's incredible, Al. It's been so much fun. And, you know, you and I and every kid who's ever played baseball can relate to the first time you played ball, the first time you put that uniform on, how it felt, how it made you feel. And, you know, you play the game because you love it, because you're having fun with your friends, you play to win, and maybe if the stars align just right, maybe in your wildest dreams you make it to the major leagues. But nobody ever thinks about making it to the Hall of Fame. That's just so far out there. And so with that as a backdrop, I asked Jim Thome earlier today what this whole experience has been like for him.
It's been surreal. It's been having goosebumps. It's something I never would ever have imagined. Like, how do you? You don't, you know, as you said it best, you don't play this game to make it to the Hall of Fame. You play the game to win, you know, and then when you get the opportunity to be around great teams, or, you know, we all want to be a major league player. That's the dream. And then to go beyond that and have the opportunity to play a long time, you know, 22 years, and to be able to accomplish great things in the game and good things in the game, the best part is the reward at the end.
Like making it to the Hall of Fame, 612 home runs. The best part of this weekend has been the guys getting together. Jack Morris told me last night a group of them got together. He said it was the greatest baseball roundtable he's ever been part of. The stories just are flying off the hook. It's been a lot of fun just being around these guys, and we'll have more coverage throughout the weekend. All
right, Matt, looking forward to that. Looking forward to talking to you coming up in the second inning. And Rick, Jim Thome going into the Hall, great player, but great guy as well.
Just something very, very special. You know, he's got to be numb, really, because like he said, he's been on a cloud for the last few months once you're inducted. And, you know, I'm so happy for him. You got to know him very well, and, you know, he worked very hard, and he's such a good guy. And, you know, it's nice to see someone you know it's going to happen to and going into the Hall. So I think it's just great.
It is great. And we have the coverage all weekend long right here as we bring you the Indians and the Tigers from Motown. And Matt Underwood is in Cooperstown, New York to bring you the latest with Jim Thome entering the Baseball Hall of Fame. Starting lineups and first pitch coming up next. Players on the hill for Detroit. More on him in just a bit. But for now, let's go down to Andre Knott. And Andre, the Indians with a last-minute lineup change.
Yeah, not expected, Al, but there has been a quick change in the lineup. Tyler Naquin's out. He's got a right hip discomfort. It's bothering him a little bit during BP. Tito figured why make him play if that's going on. So you'll see Rajai Davis in the lineup and ready to go. Same spot that Tyler Naquin was in, and it's something that I'll try to keep up with the rest of the game and the rest of this weekend and see how his hip is working for Tyler Naquin.
Okay, Andre, sounds great. And even switch out. So originally Tyler Naquin was hitting ninth in this Indians lineup. Now it's Rajai Davis.
Yeah, straight up. All right, time now to take a look at today's starting pitcher. It'll be Mike Fiers. He is the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Tigers, and he's been pitching very well. His record's 7-6, 3.49 ERA. You know, this is his fourth start against the Indians this year. In Detroit, he's made two very good starts where he's allowed just one run in each start, covering 6 innings in his first start, 7 in his second. Third start, they got him in Cleveland. He only went 5 innings. They were able to get him for 4 runs, but he has been pitching very well recently.
All right, so Mike Fiers against the Trout. He's done pretty well this year. Let's take a look at the Indians lineup presented by Progressive. Lindor, Brantley, and Ramirez, the top three. Three of the most dangerous in Major League Baseball, followed by Edwin, Alonso, Melky Cabrera in that 6-hole tonight. Then Jason Kipnis, Yan Gomes, and Rajay Davis, the late starter, in center field, batting ninth. And Francisco Lindor will step in for Terry Francona and the Indians here tonight in Detroit after an off day yesterday. Indians with a nice win on Wednesday against the Pittsburgh Pirates to wrap up that series 4-0. We'll see if today they can put another win on the books and continue their winning ways as they enter play today. 7 games in front in the American League Central. Mike Fiers' first pitch fastball low and inside. Rick, that's going to be about where he's at, 90 miles an hour on that fastball.
Yeah, he likes to get ahead of the hitters early. He'll throw the high fastball by you because he has such good off-speed pitches, a changeup, a little curveball, but he likes to pitch from in front. We'll see what he has to offer today.
Fiers will show that curve in the mid-70s, so quite a difference in the miles per hour. 3-0 now to Francisco Lindor leading off tonight's game. Gorgeous night for baseball in Detroit. Fireworks tonight after the game. An okay crowd for this year, but attendance has been down a bit here in Motown.
It sure has.
Three and one now to Francisco Lindor. So look at the folks here tonight. Plenty of Indians fans have made the trip as well. Now 3-2 to Lindor.
Trying to come back. 2 fastballs back to back. Now he is back in the count.
There's the payoff. Frankie stays alive as he lines that one straight back to the screen.
See, that's one of those pitches I'm talking about. Maybe too close to take there on a full count, but that's what you have to do. Try to foul it off. That one might have been the top part of the zone, if not a ball.
That one popped in the air to the left side of the infield, and foul ground. It's playable. Jeimer Candelario records the first out here tonight.
Let's check that Tigers defense tonight. In the outfield will be Reyes in left, Martinez in center, Castellanos over in right. On the infield, Candelario is at third, Iglesias at short, Goodrum is at second, Hicks at first, and McCann doing the catching.
Let's take a look at the umpires for tonight's game. Paul Nauert behind the plate, Ramon De Jesus at first base, Carlos Torres at second, Scott Berry at third. Paul Nauert behind the plate, also the crew chief. Michael Brantley stepping in, 1 out here in the first inning, and he takes strike 1 from Mike Fiers. See Brantley this year with that .347 on base percentage. Infield shift is on for Brantley with 3 infielders on the right side. There's a look at the Tiger defense. Now Fiers falls behind Brantley here, 2-1.
Yeah, normally he likes to get strike 1 and then try to expand your strike zone. Trying to find it early here, falling behind the first 2 hitters.
Brantley sends that one to center field. Martin, though, got a great read, and he records it for the second out. Let's take a look at today's storylines, brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Well, Mike Fiers, Rick, has been very tough on the Tribe so far this year. This is his 4th start against him, but in the 3 previous, 1-1 and a 3 ERA.
Yeah, 2 runs or less in 6 of his 7 career starts, and Castellanos, the one guy that has always seemed to hit the Indians very well. This year, just a 196 average, but he's a pretty darn good hitter.
There's also some trade talk about him as Jose Ramirez pops the first pitch up he sees to short right field. Nico Goodrum, the second baseman, out to record it, and that's out number 3. So the Indians go 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. Scoreless in Detroit. Tigers coming to bat. We go. The Indians 3 up, 3 down on the top of the first, and Carlos Carrasco on the hill.
And Carlos is going to be our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. Carrasco 12-5 on the year, 403 earned run average. In the month of July, he's 4-0 and 18 innings pitched. Remember, he did get one of those wins coming out of the bullpen. He was a vulture one game, but got the win, so he's in good shape.
He sure is having a great month of July. Here's the Tigers lineup he'll be facing. Leonis Martin, who's done well against the Tribe this year, leads it off with Candelario, then Castellanos. Goodrum, Martinez, and Hicks the middle third, followed by McCann, Iglesias, and Reyes, the starting 9 tonight for the Tigers. Leonis Martin stepping in, batting .297 against the Indians this year. A couple of home runs. And Rick, he's 4 for 9 against Carlos Carrasco.
Yeah, they've got a couple of guys that hit Carlos very well, and there you'll see it.
Right back up the middle for a single, so the Tigers with the runner aboard after one pitch.
Let's check the Indians defense, brought to you by Dodge. Behind Carrasco will be Brantley in left. Davis gets the start in center after Naquin was pulled. Cabrera is over in right. On the infield, Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kip is at second, Alonso at first, and Gomes is doing the catching.
That'll bring Jeimer Candelario to the plate. Former member of the Cubs came over in that trade, and Candelario only hitting .231, but 14 home runs this year, has some power, and he sends his first pitch he sees to straightaway center. That's a can of corn for Rajai Davis. 1 out here for Detroit in the bottom of the first.
Talk about getting aggressive, huh?
Yeah, two pitches.
You got 1 out and a base hit.
Yeah. 2 pitches, 2 hitters in the books, and now Castellanos to the plate.
Well, I don't blame him. If I'm facing Carlos Carrasco, I would like to look for first pitch fastball if you get it in your zone. Go ahead and offer at it. He has a very good slider and a changeup, an occasional curveball. He's 1-1 this year against the Tigers in his 2 starts, 11-8 in his career.
Well, since 2016, Rick, 7-2 with a 1.60 ERA that covers the last 12 starts. So you're right. You don't want to give him a chance to get ahead of you in the count, and Castellanos doesn't either. See if the Indians can turn 2. They get 1 at second, and that is all. As Ramirez throws to second base for the second out on the fielder's choice. Erasing Candelario, Castellanos aboard at first now with 2 outs.
That's amazing. Three pitches. Normally somebody will go up there and take one, but the first 3 hitters have offered. That'll help your pitch count.
Yeah, no kidding.
Especially if you can get the outs.
So that'll bring Nico Goodrum to the plate, the cleanup hitter playing second base. It'd be great to see if he can get out of the inning on 4 pitches against 4 hitters.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, it's obvious the game plan for Detroit is to look for the first good pitch they see. That time Goodrum, though, is going to take the first one for a strike.
He's going to get fined for taking a pitch. Ron Gardenhire, he's moved that lineup around a lot this year, searching for, the right lineups that he can use with certain players.
We were talking before the game, too, how Goodrum, you can play him in several different positions. Nice, though, when you can put him at second base and hit him cleanup.
Yeah.
1-1 the count with Castellanos at first base. He fouls that one back, so Carrasco ahead in the count, now 1-2.
Hard to believe that we're at the end of July and this is going to be our last trip to Detroit this year.
Yeah.
Already been here 3 times. Normally we play right around Labor Day here in Detroit. Always.
Usually that's a big series too in the Central.
Sure is.
But this is it this year here at the end of July. Goodrum grounds it to first, but foul. We'll do it again at 1-2. Now, Goodrum this year as well, if you look at his splits, Arch, 289 as a right-handed batter, just 222 batting left-handed.
And you're getting the bulk of your at-bats from the left side. You see that with a lot of switch hitters where it's, it's tough to stay even because you don't get that same work from both sides of the plate. I mean, we got 2 of the best, I think, in the game.
Here's an easy grounder back to Carrasco. He retires Goodrum, and the Tigers done here in the bottom of the first inning. We head to the second, scoreless in Motown. I'm Al Pulowski, Andre Knott reporting from down on the field, and Matt Underwood reporting from Cooperstown, New York, as Matt joins us here for this second inning. And Edwin Encarnacion will lead it off for the Tribe after the Indians went 3 up, 3 down on the top of the first, and he sends that one to third. Candelario, nice backhand play, throws across for 1 out. So 4 up, 4 down for the Tribe. And Matt, Cooperstown, New York this weekend, it's got to be a lot of fun. Hall of Famers all over there, and of course Jim Thome going in as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this village only holds 1,800 people. That's how many full-time residents live here. And they're talking on the short end 40,000, as many as 60,000 people will be here before the weekend's all said and done. It's awesome, though. It's like a giant baseball love fest going on here. And you know, the cool thing is to see people from Jim Thome's past, like Charlie Manuel. Charlie Manuel looks like a newborn dad. I mean, he's like passing out cigars. He's so proud of Jim Thome. And the cool thing, and Arch, as you know, the stories. And Jimmy's telling a story today. Me and Paul Bird and him were talking, and Jimmy's like, we're in Colorado Springs at AAA, and Tommy Kramer's pitching, and he's just getting lit up. And Charlie comes out to the mound, and everybody comes to the mound for the visit, and Charlie says, Tommy, do you know what the weather forecast today is in the Rocky Mountains? And Tommy's like, no, they're calling for showers. Why don't you go get you one? And I mean, you know, everybody's laughing, and that's just the kind of thing that's going on there. It's just a lot of fun.
And it's going to get busy tomorrow, right? They have a golf tournament going on.
All the Hall of Famers, or most of the Hall of Famers, will participate in the golf tournament, and that is a beautiful course. Right on Lake Otsego, right where the hotel is. And then after that, there's a parade in the evening. There are people behind me that are lined up, all right, ready now to get the best seat in the house for the parade. It will end right here in front of the Hall of Fame. And just here the hopes to get a glimpse of a Hall of Famer, maybe get an autograph or a selfie with these guys. Jack Morris told me he's going to play golf tomorrow with his 2 sons. He said this is maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He can't wait. And Jack told me, you know, even though he had to wait, he thinks it's better going in now. He said, I think I appreciate it even more. He said, if I had gone in when I was younger, I might have been intimidated by some of these Hall of Famers sitting behind me. But now I've gotten to know him, and he just can't wait. He's like a little kid again, too.
Yonder Alonso at the plate with the 2-2 count. And Matt, I can imagine what a great thrill it is for the families. Like you talked about that story with Jack Morris and, of course, Jim Thome and his family, just to have everybody there and celebrate this as a group.
Yeah, and for Jim, obviously it's a little bittersweet. His mom, Joyce, as everyone knows, passed away while he was still playing. He was very close to his mom. She loved coming to Cleveland to watch Jimmy when he played for the Indians. But his dad will be here. His sister will be here. Andrea, Lila, Landon, his kids, they're going to be here. And I got to believe when it's all said and done, the people that are coming tomorrow just for Jim, whether it's former teammates, players, coaches, instructors, fans, they're going to number in the thousands just of people here to see Jim Thome when it's all said and done.
It'll be great to see all those Indians fans out there.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's going to be it's going to be fun to watch. Boy, enjoy it, because I want to hear the stories you come back with, Matty.
I'm sure there will be many more to come, but it's just really cool to see these guys in such a relaxed environment. You know, they don't have a game to play, but I can tell you this, and this is a little teaser for what we got coming up before the weekend's over. Jim Thome still misses the game, and I know you do too, Arch. It's the competing, the competition at the highest level. That's the thing he misses, and he still craves that.
Boy, that's true. I guess you never really give that up. Matt, thanks so much for that report, and we'll talk to you a little bit later here on the broadcast as well.
All right, guys, get some runs. Let's go.
That sounds good. Let's do it. Yonder Alonso taking a step toward that with the walk. He's the Indians' first base runner tonight. So he's at first with 1 out from Melky Cabrera, who's on a modest 6-game hitting streak for the Tribe. He'll foul the first pitch back. Melky Cabrera was signed by the Tribe in April, played with them in May. They waived him and then were able to re-sign him, Arch, and here he is hitting 6th in the batting order.
Yeah, I always wondered why. I mean, he had a good year last year. Hit it in the 280s, and he had, 80-some RBIs. He wasn't signed by anybody, and he can still hit the baseball. It shocked me. And then when he signed here, I said, okay, they're going to have a pretty good thing going. He had to play his way to get into shape, and then he ended up letting go, and now he's back again. So because of injuries, because of, they have had their share of injuries in the outfield.
1-1 the count on Melky. And he lines that one for a base hit to right field. Alonso will hold up at second base, and that is the first hit tonight for the Tribe. And they have 2 on with 1 out here in the top of the second.
Well, there's a nice pitch right there that he got up and he hits it. I don't know if that might have been a little cutter or something like that, but he hits a line drive, gets it over the head of Goodrum at second.
And now he's on a 7-game hitting streak. Andre Knott joins us, and Andre, Melky Cabrera, it seems like now he's getting into that flow.
Yeah, he told me he's finally got his legs underneath him, and hearing Rick talk about how different it is seeing him here. He told me his legs are under him, and I think he's more comfortable now. I think he sees where he fits and what's going on. I think after being cut and coming back and how this all went down, Rick, he's comfortable and feels like he has a place on this team now, and I think that's helping his play.
And he'll fit in beautifully. I know that. The one thing that people don't understand, when you don't start the year out and you're not in baseball condition and you miss the first couple of months of the season, it's not that easy to get yourself into shape for game ready when these guys have spring training and they get their feet underneath them. Well, it takes a little while.
And that plays into where he said his legs are underneath him. He's not swinging just all arms, and he doesn't feel like his legs are tired.
Right.
After an at-bat or a run around the bases.
Well, I know he can still hit, and he's a good switch hitter. He's pretty average from both sides of the plate.
2-0 now to Kipnis. Swung through that one, got a piece perhaps. 2-1. Well, with Cabrera and Alonso on ahead of Kipnis, here's another guy, Rick, than the last month and a half. Jason Kipnis has been able to find his way a little better.
Yes,
at the plate.
he has. He's picked up his pace as well. 18 doubles, a triple, 10 homers. I mean, this is the part of the lineup that has to help out down here when you get down into 7, 8, 9 category, because Lindor and Ramirez can't do it every single night. They need some help all over the lineup. So the table's set here with 1 out.
And now a 2-2 count to Jason Kipnis. And he hits that one in the air to center. Martin settling under it. Alonso tagging, but he'll stay at second base. 2 outs, and now Yan Gomes will try to deliver with runners in scoring position and 2 away.
Yeah, that's the one ballpark you don't want to hit at the straightaway center field. 420 straight away, and it's a cavern out there. That's where the center fielders make their money.
See a look at Kipnis there that didn't quite do what he wanted with that last pitch. But here's Yan Gomes, an all-star for the first time in his career this year. Gomes now an opportunity to give the Indians the lead here with 2 outs. Sends that one to right. This one gonna go foul. Now, not as much room as Oakland, obviously, but a lot of room here in foul territory, too.
Yeah, there is compared to most ballparks. You're right. Nothing compares to Oakland. But this one has substantial foul territory where you can make a lot of outs. We go back to when this park first opened, and you see where the bullpens are. 25-foot difference when this park first opened. They had the natural home run fence. This was it was like the Grand Canyon in here.
They moved that in 2003 and gave righties a chance to hit one out to left field because there wasn't much of one before that. Gomes went too far, so now 0-2 to the Indians catcher.
This ball was so far inside it almost hit him. That's where you're looking for something, and I think more and more hitters do that now. They don't look for many pitches inside.
Mike Fiers looking for his first strikeout of the night. And he gets it. Yan Gomes swings and misses, and the Indians are done here in the second inning. They get 2 on but can't score. We get to the bottom of the second inning. Scoreless in Detroit.
For $82.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply.
Heading to the bottom of the second inning here in Motown, the Indians and Tigers scoreless. Carlos Carrasco, a relatively easy first inning, gave up a hit but no damage. He'll see Victor Martinez, John Hicks, and James McCann, hitters 5, 6, and 7 in the Tigers order. Victor takes ball 1. Victor heating up a little bit. He was 1 for 23 before the Kansas City series earlier this week and went 6 for 12 against the Royals.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing Victor, you know, in the past having a 1 for 23, but you know, his career winding down. I'm pretty sure this is probably his last year.
(3-0) now to Victor Martinez. Let's take a look at the ground ball chart from StatCast AI, powered by AWS. Victor Martinez, always a guy that could use all fields. And he walks on 4 pitches.
You know, that's funny because Carrasco had 7 out of 8 pitches in the strike zone in the first inning, comes back out and 4 straight balls.
So there he goes. The first base, Victor Martinez aboard, with nobody out here in the bottom of the second for John Hicks. Hicks has done well against the Tribe this year. As you take a look at his season numbers, been in a little bit of a slump lately, but against Cleveland this year, .292. And off speed pitch, a strike from Carrasco. Hicks was seeing more catching duty at the start of the year, Rick, but with Miguel Cabrera out, he's become almost the everyday first baseman.
Yes, he has. He's moved out there, and you know, it's not easy for a catcher to get out there and play first base, but he's, I'm sure, learned a lot and holding his own. And offensively, he's hitting .271 with 9 homers and 32 ribbies.
Carrasco ahead of him here, 0-2. Grounder to third. Ramirez, nice backhand pick. It's 1 at second, on to first, not in time. The lead runner, Victor Martinez, erased at second base for the first out.
Well, he had to go to his backhand and make the turn and spin and throw. And the key is just they weren't going to turn it because it just wasn't hit hard enough, and a couple of long throws. But he's he give a good accurate throw. You got to get the first one first.
Well, how good has Ramirez been at third base when you consider his primary position was second or even shortstop? You move him to third and he's just as good.
Without a doubt. He's got great hands over there. He's only made 4 errors all year long over at the hot corner.
Here's James McCann, the Tiger catcher. We'll take ball 1 from Carrasco. Boy, to have a guy like that, Jose Ramirez, who also a couple of years ago was willing to go to left field to get in the lineup every day.
Yeah, he started that first half out in left field. Yep. Then came into third base. He's a baseball player, period. Doesn't matter. You put him on the field, he's right at home. You put him between the lines, switch hitter, can run the bases. You look at him, 219 chances, just the 4 errors, 16 double plays he's been a part of. And one of the top players in the game of baseball right now, without a doubt.
Definitely an MVP candidate. If there was a midseason MVP, I mean, Jose Ramirez right there.
Well, and look at the guy that's right next to him. Either one of them.
Yep.
Take your pick.
And Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, he with great numbers as well. Home runs.
Could they go with co-MVPs?
Yeah. 2-2 now to McCann. Oh, Lindor this year with 25 home runs and 63 runs batted in from the leadoff spot, and then Ramirez 30 homers and 73 RBI. You've got your 2 guys like that, your shortstop and third baseman, that give you so much in those categories. makes it easier to fill out the rest of the lineup card.
It certainly helps.
Can stays alive. Boy, a nice night here in Detroit. Mostly cloudy, but 77 degrees currently.
Yeah.
This little breeze blowing, just about
Beautiful.
perfect.
The heat is gone. I see that it looks like the East Coast is getting some of the rain that we had yesterday. Rain delay in Baltimore and New York.
McCann lines that one, but foul. First of 3 games this weekend here in Detroit for the Indians. Then it's on to Minnesota. 3 games against the Twins. Off day Thursday, and the Indians return home the following weekend. Tribe has had success against Detroit this year, going 10-3 against them.
Yeah, they've been able to hold the offense down. They pitched very well against the Tigers in the last few years.
A swing and a miss. So Carlos Carrasco with his first strikeout tonight. Now 2 outs here in the second. Let's take a look at some of the numbers head to head, Arch, and you see obviously batting average wise the Indians with runs and everything really have it going on, but the earned run average, boy, what a difference there.
Yeah, a huge difference, outscoring them 76-30. And you look at this Tiger team, they're 13th in the league in runs scored. They've scored 409 runs. On the other side of that coin, the Indians have scored 520, and they're 4th in the league.
There's Jose Iglesias. He looks at strike 1 right down the middle from Carrasco. Now the Indians with 3 times as many home runs against Detroit this year as vice versa. 21 for the Tribe, just 7 for Detroit. Breaking pitch not quite that close as Iglesias made it look, but it's inside.
Yeah, it was a breaking ball as well, and Iglesias has put up some really good numbers against Carlos. 11 for 31. Comes out to a 355 average.
Swing and a miss there as Iglesias went fishing. Now Cookie ahead in the count, 1-2.
Yeah, Iglesias searches the fastball. He really gets after it, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of breaking balls to him.
And Iglesias does have success against Carrasco, Arch, as you were talking about. 355 is his career number, average wise, against Carlos. He'll keep Hicks close.
Don't know why. I mean, he doesn't have a stolen base. He's only tried 1. Unless they feel like they're going to throw a breaking ball here and they would start him. I doubt it.
2-2 now to Iglesias. John Hicks not exactly a candidate to steal.
I wouldn't think so.
It's a decent lead at first base, but nothing spectacular. Iglesias drives that one to left, and that one is a foul ball. Boy, he just missed on that breaking pitch.
Well, yeah, he did. He was out front a little too quickly. Iglesias is not a home run hitter at all, but he has 4 home runs. And it's just foul, not by much.
So Iglesias was ready on that breaking pitch. Let's see if he gets another from Carrasco with a 2-2 count. And the fastball got him as he swings and misses. And Carrasco's out of the inning with his second strikeout. We played 2 here in Detroit. No score between the Indians and Tigers. for baseball as we head to the third inning. Along with Rick Manning, I'm Al Pulowski. Andre Knott reporting. Jim Murphy producing. Mike Simons directing here tonight. Judson Lewis will be along for Indians Live post game as the Tribe and Tigers scoreless here. And Rajay Davis leads off against Mike Fiers by looking at a curveball for a strike. Davis, a late replacement for Tyler Naquin, who was the late scratch with right hip discomfort. Rajay, and excuse me, right back to the pitcher. Fiers retires Davis for the first out here in the third. Let's take a look at our Buick stat of the game and our season breakdown. American League Central and rest of the majors as far as the Tribe goes. There's no question the Indians, Rick, enjoying playing here in this division.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you look at them. 27-33 against the rest, but you have to take care of your own division, man, if you want to win it, and that's what they're doing.
Top of the order now in Lindor. Popped out to the third baseman Candelario back in the first inning, a foul pop.
You know, they're 23-25 on the road. You try and stay right at that 500 marker, a little better.
Oh, what a great catch there. John Hicks extending to take extra bases away from Lindor for the second out.
Yeah, that would have, if it was fair, that would have been a double because he was close to the line, and it certainly looked like it was going to be a fair ball on the curveball. So Frankie stayed back nicely on it. Watch this. Yeah, I'm thinking that would have been at least a double.
So two quick outs here for the Tribe in the third inning. And here's Michael Brantley. Flew out to center field his first time up. And Arch early on here, we're seeing Mike Fiers settle in a little bit like we've seen him do against the Indians in 3 previous starts.
Yes, indeed. I'll tell you, though, he's been pitching well against everybody. He's coming off a win against the Boston Red Sox where he went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, did not allow a run. Walked 3 and struck out 6. Houston is the team that got him. That's his last loss 2 starts ago, his former team, but he only gave up 3 runs to a very good offense.
Pitch just missing outside. You saw the numbers, 2-2 and just a 1.62 ERA in his last 5, Arch. And here's the guy too that his name has come up as somebody folks want from Detroit in the trade market.
Well, he could fit in and fill in for somebody in that number 5 spot. He'd be a very good number 5 starter.
And Brantley sends that one the other way for a base hit to left.
Well, there you see the approach by Michael Brantley. Because he can throw that changeup and off speed, you stay back, and he took him the other way. Stayed on that pitch beautifully. That'll be the second hit for the Indians. It'll be a 2-out single. And give Ramirez a chance, and he's probably had the best numbers against Fiers of anybody.
Yeah, hitting .375 against him, Arch.
Yeah, coming into today, 6 for 16.
Popped out on the first pitch he saw back in the first inning to the second baseman, Goodrum. Jose comes into tonight leading the Indians in slugging percentage at .625. There's a look at the shift for Ramirez. Up high with the fastball. 1-1 now to Jose Ramirez. And he favors pulling the ball, Arch, but still will go that other way.
It seems like most all left-handers have the same chart. You know what I mean? They try to pull that ball and get it over there, and that's where most of the percentage goes.
He fouls that one off. So 70% of the balls go to the right side. So the Tigers are playing that percentage. But to me, doesn't 30% seem maybe a little much sometimes to shift that he goes the other way?
Yeah. But it all depends how they're going to pitch you. That's what they try to do.
Sure.
And a lot of times when you hit the ball and you hit it with authority, you're going to hit it into the strength of the defense.
Ramirez behind in the count here. Two and two now to Jose. Here's a look at the ranks for Jose Ramirez. As we were talking about earlier, if you make an argument for MVP, just take a look at these. Jose got a piece of that, didn't want to. So we'll do it again at 2-2 for Ramirez, with Michael Brantley at first base. Edwin would be next. And now a full count to Jose Ramirez. So Michael Brantley will be moving on this pitch with 2 outs. You hit one to the gap here. Brantley should score easily.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of gaps in this ballpark. We talk about it every time we come here.
There's a look at all that ground to cover. 420 to dead center field. The power gaps really open up. Mike Fiers thinking about this one. Full count pitch to one of the best hitters in the game, and Jose Ramirez coming up. And we'll do it again.
Yeah, really slowed that pitch down, but Jose got a piece of it. That's what the good hitters do, Al. They have a knack to fouling off the tough pitches that pitchers make until they sometimes make a mistake and they take advantage of it.
Now, Jose's seen a number of them here in this at bat. Pitch number 8 coming up. It's that one foul. Well, and you think back to that game against the Astros a couple of months ago to start off that 9th inning. You're down 8-3. Who would think you have a chance to come back? But that 20 pitch at bat, that'll get you 17. That'll get you back in it.
No doubt. I mean, and it's not new to us because he battles you all the way. He is one tough out.
He led off that 9th inning back in May against the Astros in Cleveland. That was Indians down 8-3.
That was a jolt of electricity. Let's go. And good walk.
He got a double against Houston that time. This time here in Detroit, he works the walk after he sees 9 pitches from Mike Fiers.
Well, Rock and Blast is back on Friday, August 3rd, and more than just fireworks. Rock and Blast is a music and video themed experience that you don't want to miss. It'll be presented by First Energy, and there'll also be Dollar Dog Night out there. Get there early. Come on out to the district. Get your tickets at Indians.com.
So now Edwin Encarnacion, an opportunity here with runners at first and second and 2 away.
Same thing in the second inning. They had 2 on. He was able to get the last 2 outs.
A breaking ball for a strike as Mike Fiers hits pitch number 50 here in this 3rd inning as that pitch count slowly creeps up. Edwin Encarnacion this year, 71 runs batted in. Grounded out to the 3rd baseman. His first time up. Edwin now 3 for 20 in his career against Mike Fiers, but 2 of those 3 hits have been home runs.
I'd like to see him get another RBI. He's had him in 5 consecutive games. Get one here to give him a lead.
And some speed on the bases with Brantley at second and Ramirez at first. A big swing and a miss there for Edwin.
If this might have been a slider right there. Looks like one, maybe a little backup slider.
Yeah. Now, Fiers will throw mainly the curve, but also the slider, along with that changeup, and of course the fastball. In the past, he has used a cutter. And strike 3 to Edwin. So Fiers again works out of it. Just like in the second inning, he strikes out Edwin Encarnacion to end this frame as well. We head to the bottom of the third. No score in Detroit. Light. Look forward to the Hold True moment. That's coming up later in tonight's game. So far, a pitcher's duel brewing here in the bottom of the third. Scoreless. Carlos Carrasco. We'll see hitters 9, 1, and 2 in the Tiger order. Victor Reyes, Leonis Martin, and Jeimer Candelario due up. And Reyes showing bunt, but taking for a ball. Victor Reyes has some speed. He's 5 for 5 in stolen bases this year. The problem has been finding a way on the base paths. Grounds that one to first. Alonso, nice play, but a bad throw to Carrasco. And Reyes is safe at first base.
Yeah, Alonso likes to get rid of it quickly, but he had more time. He got rid of it too quickly that time, and trying to lead Carrasco made a bad throw. It was out in front of him, and he had a little bit more time. He made a nice catch, but watch it. Stop, plant, and you had time to get it over there, but he just leads Carrasco by too much. That'll be an error.
So the error on Alonso puts Reyes at first base with nobody out here in the third inning. Back to the top of the order in Leonis Martin, who singled his first time up on the first pitch of the night he saw from Carlos. He throws strike 1 to Martin as he had Reyes breaking back to first base on the delivery. Look at the numbers for Martin, though he's batting now .300 against the Tribe this year. He also has 2 homers against Cleveland. But Carrasco jumps ahead of him 0-2. Martin 5 for 10 now against Carrasco after that first inning single. Now the 1-2. Foul ball for Leonis Martin.
Reyes, a guy that you just got to keep your eye on him over there because he has 5 stolen bases. He hasn't been caught yet. So if you get into a count like this, I think if Ron Gardenhire feels that Carrasco may throw a breaking ball, you could start your runner. A little tougher to throw on that pitch.
Now 2-2 to Martin. It's been around a little bit. Seattle, Texas, now here in Detroit. There's a look at the defense for the Tribe here with the 2-2 pitch coming. And a swing and a miss. Carlos Carrasco with his 3rd strikeout and the first out of the 3rd inning for Detroit. All right, let's head down to Andre Nunn. And Andre, Carrasco out of the bullpen. That happened once this year. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you know, it was funny hearing Art say he picked up that vulture win versus the Yankees in that last game before the All-Star break. But for Cookie Carrasco, because he had come off the disabled list and he only went 5 and then 5 1/3 in the first 2 starts back from the DL, he told me that going to the bullpen helped him out a little bit. Reminded him of what made him successful when he became a starter. But also it was nice to go into the break having some momentum going with him. That helped him in his first start, and he's hoping to kind of ride it out. You know, the one thing that we can take out of that, you had a guy like Bauer who struggled in his first start. Really the whole rotation struggled in their first start through the rotation other than Carrasco. And he thinks that helped get him through his first start was by going to the bullpen for a couple days.
Sure was a nice arm to see coming out of the bullpen.
There goes Reyes. Throw to second base. A good one, and Reyes is safe. Got the hand in just in time. And a stolen base for Victor Reyes, who is now a perfect 6 for 6 on the year in the stolen base category.
And there was nothing more Gomes could do. He did a nice job, man. He got the throw right there on the money. So that tells me he was able to steal it off Carrasco. You can see he does get the hand in there right before the tag is applied.
So he's the first Tiger in scoring position tonight with 1 away for Jeimer Candelario, who has a 1-1 count against Carrasco. And now 1-2. That breaking pitch, Art's working well for
straight
Carlos.
down. I know it. I mean, when you see the left-hander swinging over a pitch like this, look at that. That's tight. That started off. It wasn't really a strike coming out of his hand, and it just kept bearing in on him. But the left-handers see that ball down and in, and they got to start their hands sometimes.
Well, you almost got him to swing again on a tight pitch inside.
Then he tried to dot the inside corner with a good fastball. I like this pitch because after throwing that pitch inside, if he would have hit and thrown for a strike and it didn't miss by much, he would have been able to pull the trigger.
Now the 2-2. Grounder to first. Alonso with a nice play on a hot shot grounder. He'll step on the bag to retire Candelario as Reyes moves over to third, but now there are 2 outs. Let's take a look at our great clips. Great clip of the game. Wednesday, Trevor Bauer against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Trevor Bauer simply has not hit a slump all season long, Arch. He might have one bad game every now and then, but he has been dominating.
Boy, he had electric breaking stuff. And that team was swinging the bat as well as anybody we've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
he was able to shut him down. It was a great performance.
Pirates had an 11-game winning streak heading into that one on Wednesday, and Trevor Bauer went out there and just shut him down. 10 strikeouts. Here's Castellanos. Looks at a pitch inside for a ball. There's the numbers on Trevor Bauer this year, second in the American League in strikeouts. The ERA is what's really impressive. He's 9-6, Arch, but he's had more than a couple of games that he just didn't get a ton of run support.
Well, that's going to happen throughout the course of a year, but he has 192 strikeouts, and I just see where Chris Sale.
Castellanos to left, Brantley back, and it's off the wall. 1 run is in easily, and Castellanos will stop at second base with a 2-out RBI stand-up double, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, so the error comes back to hurt him in this inning. with a leadoff hitter, and this is their best hitter. This is, in my opinion, their best hitter. He tries to throw the fastball by him. He gets it over the head of Brantley, and as he falls down on the track, it'll be a double for Castellanos, and that'll be his 31st. So Detroit will take the early lead.
So Nicholas Castellanos, another Tiger that's been the subject of some trade talk, delivers here with the first run of the night in the bottom of the third. Now Nico Goodrum, who grounded out to Carrasco his first time up, sends this one to left. Brantley moving over, and that one is a fair ball. It goes into the seats. It'll be a ground rule double for Nico Goodrum. Scoring Castellanos, 2-0 Detroit.
This one slicing away from Brantley, and you know, he was playing him over there, but not quite far enough, I guess, because look at, that's just slicing away. He never got it, and that thing had some hang time, but it bounces right into the seats. That's the spin that you could tell that was on that baseball.
Yeah.
Michael got over there and thought he had a chance at it, but it bounces into the seat. So back-to-back doubles now. It's 2-0.
So Goodrum at second base now for Victor Martinez. Grounded into a fielder's choice, or rather he walked and he was erased on a fielder's choice back in the second inning. Both of those runs unearned against Carrasco. Victor Martinez, who batted .500 in his last series against Kansas City. An opportunity to make it 3-0 with a base hit. And he's ahead 2-0 against Carrasco. One of the things Victor Martinez said this week was how he was impressed that his teammates are not giving up, going out there, giving it 100%, an honest effort every day.
That's got the Ron Gardenhire stamp on it. Yeah. You know, he's a good manager, and you're going to play for him.
Now the Tigers no doubt rebuilding.
Right. I mean, you got to start somewhere. They went out and they hired him in the offseason, and they knew that, you know, there were talks about hiring him before they hired their last manager, and just didn't come into play.
This one a grounder to second. Kipnis has a ways to go in the shift. Throws on the run. It is not in time, but a throw home, and they've got Goodrum hung up between third and home. And Goodrum run down by Ramirez. So Martinez with an infield single. Talk about the rarest of rarities. However, Goodrum is erased trying to score from second base. So 2 runs in for the Tigers, but no further damage as the Indians catch Goodrum. 2-0 Detroit.
Back to Cleveland, you know, I was just getting my feet wet up here, and he was the nicest guy in the world to me. You know, he didn't he didn't know who I was compared to anybody else, but he was the nicest guy in the world, and I think that made a big impression on me, and how to treat people, when you're in his position.
That's our Hear Right sounds of the game. Corey Kluber talking about Jim Thome headed to the Hall of Fame this weekend in Cooperstown, New York. Matt Underwood is there, and he'll be reporting live all weekend. Along with Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Al Pulowski as we move to the 4th inning here in Detroit. Yonder Alonso leads off for the Tribe, looking at strike 1. 2 runs home for the Tigers in the bottom of the 3rd now for this 2-0 lead. It'll be Alonso, Cabrera, and Kipnis here in this top half of the 4th inning. And Alonso hits that one high in the air to right field. Castellanos camping under it. 1 out here in the 4th inning. And let's take a look at our big story for tonight's game. Jack Morris also heading into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Pitched for the Indians briefly, but of course a longtime member of the Detroit Tigers and a key member of that 1984 team that won the World Series.
Yeah, it was a no-hitter that year, and he will most be remembered for this game right here in the World Series. 1-0 10-inning win against the Braves. That was some kind of game.
Melky Cabrera at the plate. Yeah, Jack Morris. That was the thing, Arch. After he left Detroit, he goes to Minnesota. He was one of those guys to me that maintained his prime for what, 10 years, 12 years? Not much drop off.
No, he was a horse, man. He was one of the better starters, I think, in his era right there coming in through the 80s. He was very, very solid.
2-1 now to Melky Cabrera, and if anything cemented Jack Morris's Hall of Fame, I would say it is. What's that Game 7 in '91 World Series against Atlanta? I mean, after you do that, as a starting pitcher, what more could you do in MLB? It's one thing to win a Game 7, but to pitch every inning of an extra inning game.
Go to 10 innings.
Shut him out.
Yeah, 1-0 ball game. Great game.
Hitters count for Cabrera, who singled his first time up. And he sends this one in the air to left center. It'll be an easy play for Martin. Quickly 2 outs here in the top of the 4th for the Tribe. So the most wins in the 1980s. There he is, Jack Morris on top.
That doesn't surprise me, leading the way, and that guy right behind him, Dave Steve, was a heck of a right-handed pitcher too. Bob Welsh, Charlie Huff, the knuckleballer, and then Fernando Mania. He came on the scene, and of course Bert Blyleven and Nolan Ryan. Pretty good names on that list.
What a list indeed. Here's Kipnis with 2 outs. Flew out to center his first time up. Set a breaking pitch from Fires for strike 1. Now quickly 0-2 to Jason Kipnis.
You can see now that second time through the lineup, he's starting to use that curveball a little bit more. This guy is really giving the Indians fits, especially in this ballpark. He's pitched very well. This is his 3rd start this year against them.
He's had 7 starts overall against Cleveland, 3-2 and a 2.68 ERA coming into tonight. This is his 8th overall.
Yeah, the time they got him, that was June 22nd back in Cleveland.
Kipnis swings through it. 3rd strikeout tonight for Mike Fiers. Indians go 1-2-3 here in the 4th. Bottom half coming up.
sure you get to the ballpark on Saturday. That'll be August 4th, because you're going to get your chance to experience the fun. It'll be Rock and Blast #2. Fans 21 and over can enjoy the pregame out in the district, featuring cup $2 beers. Get your tickets at Indians.com.
Heading to the bottom of the 4th here at Comerica Park, Hicks, McCann, and Iglesias due up for Detroit. Hitters 6, 7, and 8. Ron Gardenhire's lineup, and John Hicks swings at the first pitch and lifts an easy fly ball to right center from Melky Cabrera. 1 out. Detroit with a couple of runs last inning with 2 outs, both runs unearned against Carrasco.
Yeah, unfortunately, they started that inning off with an error, but they ended up getting out of that inning on a hit, in that heads up play by getting the ball home quickly, even though he was called safe at first base.
Here's James McCann. He was a strikeout victim his first time up back in the 2nd inning. He'll take strike 1 from Carlos Carrasco, who tonight has been fairly efficient with the pitches. That's number 50 here in the 4th inning.
Carlos normally a guy that throws 65% strikes every game, and that's nice.
Yeah, right down the line, going the opposite way as McCann. He's heading to second base. It's Cabrera fields the carom, and McCann will stop there with a stand-up double with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
A nice piece of hitting there by McCann, slicing that ball down the first baseline. That's the 3rd double now in the last 2 innings for the Tigers, and boom, he just stayed on it. He was thinking 3. Of course, he's a catcher and he doesn't run all that well, but he is in scoring position now with 1 out.
That'll bring Jose Iglesias to the plate, who struck out his first time up back in the 2nd inning as well. However, we talked about earlier the success Iglesias has had against the Indians and Carlos Carrasco.
Well, he almost hit one out of here down the line in his last at bat that was just fouled on a breaking ball. And it's funny because Iglesias hit his 4th home run on Wednesday in Kansas City, and he hadn't homered in 58 straight games from May 13th to July 20th. So the long ball is coming, even though he, like I said, he just hit one foul.
Now the wind blowing out tonight. The block by Yan Gomes on that ball in the dirt. I'll go out and talk to Carlos Carrasco. Carlos, so much better on the road, Rick. I know we've talked about it. You and Matt have talked about it too. Can you explain it, or is it sometimes just the way it goes?
It's just the way it goes. His ERA is better on the road. He's 7-2 at home, but his ERA is it's 4.99. It's almost 5. You look at him, he's 5-3 on the road. He's got a 3.26 ERA. So I'll tell you what they have done for him in the month of July. They scored him a lot of runs. He's pitched on the right day. And that helps on what kind of run support you're getting. His last start in Texas, he left leading the ball game 10-2. In his win against the Yankees, he ended up getting that one out of the bullpen. But that Cincinnati game, it was the 17-1 game when he left.
Well, in July, 4-0 with a 3 ERA in the 5 games that he's pitched. So he's been undefeated here. He's down against the Tigers in the bottom of the 4th inning, but Carlos Carrasco is one of those guys ever since he came back out of the bullpen in August of 2014. He's been a different pitcher.
Yes.
Two and 2 here to Iglesias. And now a full count to the Tigers shortstop with Victor Reyes waiting on deck. And ball 4 to Iglesias. So he's aboard. That'll put runners at first and second with one out here in the fourth inning. And let's take a look at our injury report, brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Aaron Judge, boy, that is a huge blow to the New York Yankees. Said he might not be able to swing a bat for possibly 3 weeks. And then some time to get back after that. Chris Bryant, Steven Strasburg back on the DL, Arch. We've seen Bryant and Strasburg.
On the DL.
Yeah, a couple of times on the DL.
He came off and made the one start and went right back on.
Boy, in the Nationals, you take a look at the National League East. I think a lot of people, myself included, thought they were your favorites easily. And right now, they are not in contention.
No, they're not. They're not even at 500. Well, they are. I take that back. So they've won a couple of games in a row. They're 51 and 51.
Losing Strasburg and not having him for most of the year, quite a blow as Victor Reyes fouls that one off to even the count at 1-1. Here's the National League East for you. Philadelphia on top. When they signed Carlos Santana and then Jake Arrieta, folks said, well, I guess Philadelphia is serious about competing this year. Well, there they are in first place. And then the Atlanta Braves, Arch, I don't think anybody saw them come.
No, they're ahead of schedule. You know, they had a couple of young players come up, and they're doing things that they didn't expect. They thought maybe it would happen next year,
right?
You know, but they took off a little bit early, and you know, I don't know if they're going to, go anywhere. I think they may stick around.
Oh, Nick Markakis to get a veteran.
What
to
a year
perform
he's
like he
had.
has. Yeah, who would have thought that? He was batting .330 about a month ago. It's down to .316, but a nice year for Nick Markakis to go with those young kids. And a grounder to second base. Could be two. Kipnis to second for one, but no chance to get the speedy Reyes at first. So that's the second out of the inning as Iglesias is erased. That'll move McCann to third and Reyes at first base with 2 away.
Well, this ball not hit all that hard, but on the throw, kept going away. Not where you really want to put that throw, is offline a little bit where he's got to stretch out, and he really couldn't make a throw to come back. So it'll be 2 outs, first and third.
Back to the top of the order now, and Leonis Martin, who singled his first time up to lead off the ball game for the Tigers and struck out back in the third inning. Martin with 29 runs batted in this year, an opportunity with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. So you have some speed at first, Arch, but 2 outs at first and third. Do you move him here, or do you let Martin just try to bring in the runner from third?
No, you give him an opportunity. You don't want to make an out on the base unless you know you can just take off. But Martin, give him a chance.
He hits that one to short left center. This one is trouble. Davis coming out, making the sliding catch. Rajay Davis was able to close ground in a hurry and save a run for the Tribe. Detroit out of the fourth inning, but they still have the lead, 2-0. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Fifth inning here in Motown. Tigers lead the Tribe 2-0. A couple of unearned runs off Carlos Carrasco in the bottom of the third have been the difference. Yan Gomes, Rajai Davis, and Francisco Lindor, the hitters do for the Tribe here in the top of the fifth inning. And Mike Fiers has looked great.
I'll tell you, they got to find a way to get to him. They've had a couple of opportunities, but not a couple of guys on. He was able to get the outs when needed. They only have 2 hits, both singles.
Gomes, a strikeout victim, his first time up on 3 pitches. Looks at a ball there. Gomes lines that one to left field, and that one will drop for a base hit in front of left fielder Victor Reyes. So the Indians get their leadoff batter aboard here in the fifth.
Well, he's going to get a fastball. He's going to get out in front of it, pull it, and get a base hit. Well, that's the first time tonight that they have had their leadoff man aboard.
So there's Gomes at first base as Rajai Davis steps to the plate. He grounded out on an excuse me swing to the pitcher Mike Fiers back in the third. Raj looks at ball one. If you're joining us, Tyler Naquin was originally in the starting lineup, but he was a late scratch with right hip discomfort. Rajai Davis filling in for him here in the 9 slot.
I want to send along congratulations to Matt and Carolyn Holub celebrating their 20th anniversary. Way to go. Congratulations.
All right. Hitters count for Davis. There's a strike a little bit below the zone. Called a strike by home plate umpire Paul Nauert. 2-1 now to Davis. Davis didn't want to. Now the count evens at 2-2.
Sending along happy birthday wishes tonight. Mary Conley of Canton is 95. Babe Pacheco is 88 from Youngstown. Stan Rosenblum 84 from Beechwood. Happy birthday to you all. Those were yesterday and we were off, so I'm going to catch up with that, and we have a few more today.
All right,
that we'll get to. July, a busy month.
Yes it is. 31 days. Full count to Davis with Gomes at first base. Mike Fiers with 72 pitches tonight, 44 of those for strikes. Tribe has had a few deep counts. So here in the fifth inning, Fiers about to throw his 73rd pitch. Davis stays alive. Indians and Tigers again tomorrow night here in Detroit, 6 o'clock start.
Yeah, hour earlier, right.
5:30 Indians live. Jensen and Andre to get you started, but
they're starting that game an hour earlier so Jeff can go bowling tomorrow after the game.
Yeah, Jeff up here helping us with the stats in a bowling league, huh? No? Okay. Again, the payoff to Davis from Fiers coming up. He sends that one to right field. Castellanos started back, now stops, 1 out here in this fifth inning. Francisco Lindor coming up. Let's check our Kia Drive to Success, and we talk about wins above replacement and how big of a number it is for guys like Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor. 4 of your top 5 MVP candidates there with the WAR. Look at that number by Ramirez, 6.4, Lindor 5.3. You're talking about a 12, which is incredible between the two.
No question. And these guys are every single day players. They don't miss anything. Rarely do they miss an inning.
Lindor checks but takes a strike. So if you're wondering what WAR is, it's the number of wins a player's team has above the number of wins if he were substituted by a replacement level player. So that means if somebody other than Francisco Lindor, for example, were playing shortstop, the Indians with this number would have 5 less wins. Again, those numbers, if you have a 2 or a 3, that's considered strong in baseball, but to have above a 5.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You know, it just tells you how strong and how much Lindor and Ramirez contribute to the Indians' success. Now 2-1 to Frankie, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Popped out in the first inning, lined out to the first baseman in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, taking away an extra base hit, and that was on the curveball when they hit that ball pretty hard. So you can see where Fiers is trying to nibble and get that outside corner with his heater.
That one just in the lower half of the strike zone. Pretty good pitch for Mike Fiers.
But you can see how he moves the baseball around to different quadrants. You're going to see this one down coming in, and I mean right at the knees. And there you see that's a tough pitch. That's why you take it. But it was called a strike.
Lindor to right center field. That one is hit well. Castellanos looking up, and see ya. Lindor, a 2-run homer, and the Indians are tied with the Tigers.
That's what they needed, a little spark. And you talked about the WAR, and he must have heard you. Because I'll tell you, put a good swing on the baseball, and Frankie gets his 26th home run and ties this ball game up. Watch the swing here. That fastball, that's about one of the few times he left it on the plate or in the middle of the plate.
Of his 26 home runs this year, Arch, Mike Bacta tells me 14 of those have either tied or given the Indians the lead.
Yeah.
Again, just how important he is to this line.
That doesn't surprise me. He's clutch. And now he maybe picked that offense up a little bit.
Here's Brantley, 1 for 2 with a single his last time up in the 3rd inning. And Francisco Lindor with that 2-run homer now has 65 runs batted in. Think about that from the leadoff spot.
Yeah, that's impressive. And Fiers giving up his 19th home run.
So just like that, the game is tied.
You know, going into this inning, I was going to bring up to you guys how frustrated the hitters were going against Fiers. And Lindor was one of them before the game. He said, I don't know how he keeps getting me out, but he's getting me out. The frustration finally was able to be released, boys, because he was getting frustrated because I brought the high fastball to him, Arch, and he says, well, Andre, everybody's trying to get us out with high fastballs now. I don't know why he's been able to slow us down, but he has, and we got to stop it tonight.
Well, he did. He made a really good pitch on the inside corner low to get to strike 2, but he made a mistake there, and Frankie didn't miss it.
Well, and Andre, when you talk about Lindor and the way that he approaches hitting, I mean, here's a guy that he gets frustrated if he doesn't have success because he's had a lot of it these last couple of years.
Oh, I like how you hit on that. I think he understands the game, and there's going to be ups and downs, but he doesn't understand them when they're with him. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, yeah, other guys could have them, but not me.
Right. But I mean, he really is like that. You know, he's understanding. He'll go up to a guy and say, hey, you can swing this, or what did he throw you? But don't let him go 0 for 4. He's got nothing to say to you then.
Well, and Jose Ramirez the same way, and Brantley at the plate. I mean, a lot of these guys like that, but it seems Frankie really takes it personally if he doesn't have success against a certain pitcher. Brantley pops that one up, foul. Tigers surrounding it, and Candelario able to reach back as he almost overran the pop-up.
Yeah, he did overrun it, but look at, he might have pulled his arm out of socket. Have to reach back. Look at, he had to get there because he was playing off third base, and that one, he was lucky to catch that one. I don't know if he thought it stuck in his glove or not. I think it surprised him.
Yeah, he had a check. Yep, got it. That's the second out here for the Tribe in the 5th inning. Now Jose Ramirez. So we talked about Lindor and his wins above replacement, just over 5. Jose is just above 6. Tonight 0 for 1 with the walk. Popped out in the 1st inning. Walked back in the 3rd. Quickly fires ahead of him, 0-2 with that shift on for Jose Ramirez. There's a look as Candelario took a few more paces towards second base as Jose breaks the bat as it goes foul.
Hit it off the end and off of that cupped end, and it's splintered. That was a piece of the barrel that took off. Watch it go right off the end, and then a piece of the bat goes flying.
Watch out, Sandy.
Just a little sliver.
Oh, 2 now to Ramirez. That one way inside. Fire's about to make his 90th pitch. He's thrown 55 pitches for strikes. Two and 2 to Ramirez.
See how he tries to get ahead of you and then nibble to get you to swing at his pitch and expand your zone. But you have to lay off those pitches that are teasers.
And Ramirez has been able to do so from 0-2 to 3-2. Edwin would be next. And a hard hit ball, but the defensive shift works out perfectly. Goodrum throws to first base for the out, but the Indians have tied the game here in the 5th inning thanks to that man, Francisco Lindor, with a monster shot to right center. Ties the game at 2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th in Motown. After Francisco Lindor just went yard in the top half of the inning, his 26th to tie the game. Plenty of Tribe fans have made the drive. Less than 3 hours from downtown Cleveland to here in Detroit. Bottom of the 5th, they'll see Candelario, Castellanos, and Goodrum for the Tigers. Both runs Detroit scored back in the 3rd unearned. 1-1 now to Candelario, who flew out his first time up. Grounded out to Alonso back in the third inning. It's that one to Alonso again, but foul.
Time to finish up our birthday wishes. Marilyn Schaefer from Toledo is 95. Gene Riblett is 87 from Columbus. Josephine Williams is 90 out in Ravenna. And Chris Easterday, 87 from Talmadge. Happy birthday to each and every one of you.
Carrasco with 3 strikeouts tonight. Ahead here. Fly ball to left field.
Nothing you can do there.
It's going to fall in front of Brantley, and taking a look is Candelario will try for second base, and he is out at second base. Well, he tried to run on Michael Brantley, and Brantley made him pay.
Yes, he did. He was trying to be aggressive, and I'll tell you what, when Brantley saw that he kicked it into gear, he picked it up and he threw a strike to get him. So that was a good throw by Michael. And I'll tell you what, he tried to kick it in, and if that would have been a double, he flared it out there, but you have to get to it quickly, and you can see a great throw to get him out at second base. Second out they've made on the bases tonight.
Dr. Smooth with an absolute strike, and Cookie Carrasco says, way to go, Michael. 4th assist this season for Michael Brantley. Always has had an accurate arm arch, and he still shows that from time to time when he gets challenged.
Yeah, well, you had to get to that ball quickly. That was the #1 thing, and once he did, he made a good throw. Accurate throw is right.
So the leadoff batter erased here thanks to Michael Brantley's hustle and accurate throw. Good tag by Kipnis. Castellano bats with no one aboard.
You know, I don't really blame the guy for trying. I mean, because it takes a perfect throw to get you, and that's what Michael made. If not, and he's called safe, then you say, hey, that's great hustle. You've got yourself in scoring position and things like that. So Michael made a good throw. I don't think that Gardenhire will be upset with Candelario there.
Castellanos doubled and scored a run last time up. Hits that one hard but foul down the third baseline. Well, and Jeimer Candelario, one of those guys talked about a little bit earlier, Arch, that they got from the Cubs, but average not the best, but he's got some speed, but more impressively, he's got some power too.
Yes, he does.
He's a guy that the Tigers are looking to build with. Nicholas Castellanos down in the count, 1-2. Castellanos comes from a family of educators. His mom, a teacher. She said, schoolwork always comes first. If schoolwork wasn't there, you're not playing baseball. So by the time he got to high school, he was a pretty good student.
Well, good for him. They taught him the right way. That comes first.
Swings and misses here, and Carlos Carrasco picks up his 4th strikeout tonight. 2 outs in the 5th. Let's take a look at our mid-game summary. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Detroit on the board first. Nick Castellanos with his double here, scoring a run. Then it was Nico Goodrum, another double. Both those runs unearned. And then in the top half of the 5th inning, Arch, Francisco Lindor leaving it.
Yeah, that was nice. One swing of the bat, come right back and tie it up. Carrasco going out there and doing what he has to do. Shut him down.
So 2 outs for Nico Goodrum. It was 1 for 2 with a double and a run batted in tonight. Now Cookie starting to find that groove a little bit here in the 5th inning in Detroit. And he gets Goodrum for his 5th strikeout tonight. 2 strikeouts in the 5th inning for Carlos Carrasco, who is settling in. Indians and Tigers tied at 2 as we head to the 6th in Motown. Brantley throwing out Jamer Candelario to lead off the 5th inning, trying to stretch a single into a double, and pitching coach Carl Willis says, Michael, thank you.
Well, they love it. Well, they gave up 2 unearned runs already, so when you get a little help for that defense, he's going to go say, hey, nice job, way to go.
Edwin Encarnacion leads it off here in the 6th for the Tribe. Hitters 4, 5, and 6 due up. Edwin, Alonso, Melky, Cabrera, the hitters. Mike fires ahead of Edwin Encarnacion, 0-2.
Yeah, that ball looks like his fastball, and it's a little off-speed pitch, changeup about 83. And you end up being just a little too quick on it and pull it foul.
That one in the dirt. For the most part tonight, Rick, Fiers has been effective, especially at mixing his pitches.
Sure he has. I mean, that's what he does so well. I mean, and you know what? As a hitter, you can go up there, and he's what you call maybe a comfortable 0 for 4. Because you see the ball, and that's what Andre was talking about with Lindor and some of the hitters. He frustrates you, but he continues to get you out. So you just, sometimes you can't figure it out.
Fouls it straight back. Rick, if we had a glove, I think we might have had that.
Yeah, we had one on our last game in Cleveland that just winged by my head.
I saw that. I know. I was a little worried about you.
No, I got out of the way.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
He once won a Gold Glove. He no longer goes at him.
No, sir.
He didn't try to go the one at home, and then I got him when we were in Texas.
Yeah.
He ain't moving like the old man ain't moving like he used to. I'm just letting you know, Al. You got it for the weekend. Come prepared, baby.
Al, you better. If you want to catch it, you go right ahead, because I'm not cleaning up your bloody nose.
Welcome to the booth, my
Well
man.
played, yes. Well played indeed. Edwin Encarnacion, though, a strikeout victim, number 4 tonight for Fiers. Check it out.
Yeah, nice curveball on our Nissan pitch tracker. Drops in the zone.
So 1 out here in the 6th inning. Yonder Alonso hits that one deep to right field. Castellanos looking up. Forget it. Yonder Alonso has given the Indians the lead, 3-2.
Well, the long ball has been the friend of the Indians tonight. They get their 142nd home run, and they get their first lead of the night on the solo home run by Yonder. That's number 17. It's an off-speed pitch. Looks like a changeup. 85, and look at Fiers throw his hands up. My goodness, what am I doing? I mean, he gave him a little swinging room. He had good extension on it, and it's a 3-2 Tribe lead.
Melky Cabrera pops this one to left center. I don't think Martin saw it, but Reyes did. He makes the catch for the second out. Now Mike Fiers' reaction here, Arch, is priceless.
Well, yeah, they know. Oh, they can tell by the crack of the bat. You know, when you give them up like there, you go, my goodness. I didn't want it there, and it hurt me, but you know, he's got to reel it back in. He has 2 outs, and it's been the home run ball that hurt him.
All 3 Indians runs have come via the long ball. 2-run homer for Lindor in the 5th. The solo shot by Alonso. Tribe was down in this game 2-0. Now they have a 3-2 lead here in the 6th inning. With Jason Kipnis at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. That home run for Alonso was number 17. The Indians now with 7 players with 10 home runs or more in the starting lineup. You saw the pitch counts on Mike Fiers as he goes over 100.
Yeah, he doesn't go over 100 often. He's right in that 90 pitch range, 90 to 100. He's thrown 100 pitches or more 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. So, and this is his 20th start. So he's usually out of there by 100 pitches, but I'm sure this will be his last inning.
Kip sends it high in the air to short center field. Martin will haul it in. And the Indians are retired here in the 6th, but they take the lead for the first time tonight thanks to Yonder Alonso and his 17th home run of the year. Deep into the Detroit night. 3-2 Cleveland.
They're fun, you know, and from what I've been every time I'm around him, he's a great person, you know. He's very genuine. He cares about people. He cares about the game, and he cares about how life is, you know. And that's special. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his family. His name will live forever just because of that, and the legacy he created here in Cleveland. It's special.
That's our T-Mobile's Built for Baseball, Francisco Lindor, talking about one of the great home run hitters, Frankie, tonight with the 2-run homer.
Yes, indeed.
So the Indians have the lead now in the bottom of the 6th inning, 3-2. It'll be hitters 5, 6, and 7 for Detroit. Martinez, Hicks, and McCann as Victor fouls that one off. Martinez tonight has reached both times. Walked in the 3rd inning, or in the 2nd rather, singled in the 3rd.
Now, if I were to tell you that Victor Martinez had an infield single, would you believe me? Because that's what happened.
That was.
I mean, look where Kipnis is playing. He was playing that deep, and he had to come in, and Victor actually beat it out.
Now, Victor was never known for his speed, but he's lost even, what, 3 or 4 steps since we saw him in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, when they have, and Cabrera's healthy, those 2 guys, I mean, they can hit. But they could also, when they do hit, and if they get on, they can clog up the bases, too. And that's one thing Detroit wanted to do. They wanted to get some more athletic players, you know, guys that could run a little bit better. And
well, that one Victor hits well to right field. Melky Cabrera back, but it's gone. Victor Martinez, the former Indian, has tied the game with the Tribe with a solo home run. 3-3 game in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, that lead didn't last long because he threw a pitch down in the zone and he was able to golf it out of here. That is going to be Victor's 6th home run. And that did not last long. Watch, it's an off-speed pitch. It's going to be down. There's a slider. Might have been down out of the strike zone, but Martinez hits it out. '15th home run allowed by Carlos.
So even at 3. And Hicks the batter, fouling one straight back. So Victor now on a 5-game inning streak. That was his 6th home run of the season. And well, he's still a guy, you make a mistake to him, he'll hurt you.
That ball was down. It may not have been a strike. But I'm looking out in their bullpen. I don't see anybody warming up, so I'm wondering if Flyers is still going to stay in this game.
Now Fires over 100 pitches. Carrasco, one shy of 80. He's ahead 0-2 to Hicks. Carrasco with 5 strikeouts tonight. That home run by Martinez was also the first earned run of the evening for Detroit. Previous 2 coming in the 3rd inning. Both unearned. Hicks stays alive. Again, the 1-2. And again, Hicks stays alive. Well, Carlos has got that split change, or as Jensen likes to call it, the Vulcan change, Arch, which is about 6 miles per hour difference between the fastball and then that changeup. If you're a hitter, what does that do when it's coming in?
Well, it's like sinking action. Well, it'll be coming into the right-hander or going straight down. And it'll go away from the left-hander. There's the slider, but that's the pitch that'll go the other way. It can, when it's on and it's working, it's a nasty pitch. Strikeout number 6. Here's a slider that's going the other way. That changeup will go the exact opposite, and it'll be you know, slower than his slider.
So 1 away for Carlos Carrasco here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. A run home on Victor Martinez's solo home run. Now James McCann. And Detroit is getting somebody loose in the bullpen.
They got him up
right?
now with 1 out. Yes.
It's Alex Wilson and Lewis Coleman getting loose. So Ron Gardenhire must have heard you.
No, he knows. That's, you look at his numbers and that tells you he's 100 pitches and he's done. But the good thing for Fires is that they were able to come back and tie the game up.
Yeah, so he'll be off the hook if he is indeed out of this game for the top of the 7th. 1-1 the count to James McCann. He and Hicks share the catching duties here in Detroit. Hicks, of course, as we talked about earlier, also a first baseman, filling in for now Miguel Cabrera at first for most of this season. But it's interesting, you have Hicks, a catcher, batting 6th, McCann, a catcher, batting 7th. So catchers back-to-back in Gardy's lineup. Carrasco taking some time here. We've seen 3 home runs tonight, 2 by the Tribe, 1 by Detroit. And a swing and a foul tip, I believe. Yan Gomes held on to it. Strikeout number 7 for Carrasco. And it's time now for T-Mobile's Built for Baseball. And Alan Trammell, another Hall of Famer, heading in. Alan Trammell, one of the best at shortstop in Major League Baseball. And Archie and Lou Whitaker, what a double play combination they were.
No doubt. And this guy played a long time. Nothing flashy. Got the job done just consistently. He could hit, he could field, he could do it all. But there was nothing flashy, but those 2 guys right there stayed together, and they played as long as anybody in the middle of the infield.
Al, Arch, and Al, I'm sure you're like me. Growing up watching Tigers baseball, those 2 were like the same to me. Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell. And I know Lou Whitaker didn't play as long, but do you think his name could be brought up in the Hall of Fame talks at some point in time?
Lou Whitaker?
Yeah, Sweet Lou. I don't know either, but I just, you know what I mean. When we were growing up, those 2 were, when you talked about Alan Trammell, you talked about Lou Whitaker as well.
I mean, defensively, absolutely.
He was awesome.
But offensively, I don't know if he has the numbers.
Right. You're right.
But it's a great question because, yeah, you know, all through the 80s, if you hit that ball up the middle with the runner on first base, it was usually a twin killing. Here's Iglesias, deep to left field. This one is a foul ball.
Second time he's thrown on that breaking ball inside, and he's drilled it down the line. Both of them. Foul ball. But let's look at the most games played by Tigers. Of course, Ty Cobb leads the way. Then Big Al Kaline, he's in Cooperstown. Lou Whitaker, 2,308 games. He played 100 more than Alan Trammell.
And by most of the numbers, he has better numbers than Joe Morgan. So maybe Andre has an argument here.
I didn't realize he played that many games, so that's a huge stat to go along with it. I know it's hard to get in, and I think Al said it perfectly. When you hit the ball up the middle in the 80s, it was getting eaten up by one of those 2.
Yeah, they were tremendous, and obviously strong at the plate as well. As Carrasco just misses there, 1-2. Once again, foul. Jose Iglesias has proven to be a pesky out for the Indians to get against the Detroit Tigers here.
And he has good numbers against Carlos, so he has a little confidence in the batter's box. Carlos keeps trying that breaking ball. He keeps fouling it off. Invent something here.
Now, we spoke of his changeup. Carlos Carrasco's change averages just under 88 miles per hour, faster than some pitchers' fastballs, and the 8th hardest changeup going into this year in Major League Baseball. We'll see if that's the selection here at 1-2.
Kenny stayed with it. He made the pitch to get him out.
Jose Ramirez catches the foul pop, and the Tigers are done here in the 6th inning, but they even the game at 3 thanks to a solo home run from Victor Martinez. 3-3 game as we head to the 7th in Detroit.
Tribe Rewards, and today's Tribe Rewards code is Hargrove. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
And as we head here to the top of the 7th inning in a tie game at 3-3, it's our Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen, Arch.
Yes, indeed. Lewis Coleman coming on, the right-hander, 6'4", 205 pounds. He's given up 7 hits in 4 innings in his last 5 outings. He's walked 3, so righties are actually doing better off him than left-handers are. Hard to believe.
Yeah.
They're hitting 270 off him. Lefty's hitting just 238. So it'll be Gomes, Davis, and then back to the top of the lineup with Lindor.
Especially with that delivery that he has, Rick, as you pointed out.
He comes down, it's a little tough. You would think it would be the other way around when you look at the splits.
Appeared in 13 games with the Mud Hens this season. Their AAA club had 8 saves there, so he has some closing experience at the minor league level as Yan Gomes takes strike 1.
So another no decision for Mike Fiers against the Indians this year.
Fiers threw 103 pitches tonight. 65 of those were for strikes, and quickly it's 0-2 here to Yan Gomes. Yan struck out his first time up back in the 2nd inning, singled and scored on the Lindor home run in the top of the 5th. And he hits that one, and a nice catch. Did he grab it? Candelaria will throw across, and he is out at first base, I believe.
See,
no call by the 3rd base umpire, Scott Barrett.
Well, he didn't. He was looking at the 2nd base umpire. He may not have seen it, but
he caught it.
He couldn't tell it because he was blocked out. But he was looking. He knew he caught it. He was looking for confirmation.
Yep.
And didn't get it. But when in doubt, make the throw over there, which he did. But the 2nd base umpire saw it, so he would have been out anyway, even if he threw it over his head.
So officially a line out to 3rd base for Yan Gomes for the first out. Carlos Torres, the 2nd base umpire there. Rajay Davis, the Indians' number 9 hitter tonight, 0 for 2 with the ground out and fly out. Grounded out to the pitcher back in the 3rd inning. Flew out to right in the 5th. Lewis Coleman's played in 7 major league seasons with Kansas City from 11 through 15. It's with the Dodgers in the National League in 2016 and then here in Detroit this season. 241 career appearances, all in relief. An 11-6 record, a 3.54 career ERA. Rajay Davis doing a nice job laying off of those pitches, and he's built a 3-1 count. Three and 2 now to Rajay Davis. Daniel Stumpf has gotten up in the Tigers bullpen. Last time Lindor was up, he homered. He's up next. And a swing and a miss. 5th strikeout for Tigers pitching, the first tonight for Coleman. 2 away here in the 7th inning. Indians have scored 3 runs tonight. They've all come via the long ball. First up, Francisco Lindor. An exit velocity just under 103 to tie the game at 2. And then it was Yonder Alonso with his blast to right, Arch, to put the Indians ahead at the time, 3-2.
Yeah, he picked on a changeup right there. Gave him a short-lived lead until the leadoff hitter in the bottom half of that inning tied it up.
So here is Lindor. And he pops that one up. That'll be the last out of the inning. Candelario right on the line. Fair ball it is, but a catch nonetheless. And the Indians retired 1-2-3 here in the 7th. Stretch time in Detroit. Tie game. For the Tribe tomorrow night, right back here at Comerica Park. Game 2 in their 3-game set against the Tigers. Clevenger versus Liriano. Join us for Indians Live at 5:30. Andre Knott, Jensen Lewis get you started. We'll have our Impact Indians. I hope Andre continues picking well for me against Jensen and the fans. First pitch at 6. It's right here on Sportstime Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go.
You have such a lead, Al. It doesn't matter how Andre picks.
That is true.
Hey,
you've got that. I know you're going to pick
winners,
well.
Al. Don't listen to that guy.
I was ready to give you a compliment, say he's going to add to his lead.
I know you know better than giving me a compliment. Al's got this thing locked up. I roll with champions.
I like it, Andre. Make sure you tell that guy with the pocket square that you're rolling with me.
He's all mad about the scoring. I was going to talk to you anyway. I made a joke and he goes, "You make sure Al knows that we don't understand the scoring."
We've got it figured out. He explained it to me tonight before the game started.
See, Arch gets it.
Right up there with War, huh, Arch?
Yes,
it is.
Even easier.
What is it good for?
Absolutely
nothing.
Oh my goodness, there it is. From the 60s. Nice job, guys. And by the way, Carlos Carrasco just struck out his 8th batter tonight to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Victor Reyes is the guilty party, and just like we promised earlier, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. Carlos Carrasco, yes, he has that strikeout pitching working tonight, and that'll be his last one as Terry Francona's headed to the hill.
All righty, 97 pitches, and he's done for the night, huh? Okay.
Yeah, out he goes.
Out he goes. He'll have a no decision as well. He allowed 7 hits.
So they'll bring in the left-hander Oliver Perez to face Martin and Candelario. We'll take a break. Bottom of the 7th inning in Detroit, tied at 3. Went 6 in the 3rd inning, struck out 8, gave up only 1 earned run. So he leaves with the game tied at 3. He will not be involved in the decision. Oliver Perez, the new pitcher.
It's up to the bullpens now. And Tito felt that he wanted the left-hander Perez to come in and face Martin.
So Martin will take a look at strike 1 from Oliver Perez. Well, Oliver Perez is tough on lefties, Arch, but if you look at his splits, he's even tougher on righties. Go figure.
Yeah, you know what? He's done a nice job.
.36 years old, the former starter.
Yeah, he's been around a while, and good breaking stuff. But he still has enough on his fastball that if you just sit on that breaking ball, he can get it by you.
And he is the king of different deliveries, different arm slots.
Oh, yeah. Hesitation. He does a little bit of everything out there.
A breaking ball there to get ahead 1-2 with the foul ball. He was signed by the Tribe as a free agent back on June 2nd. Spent last year in the Washington Nationals bullpen. Spent the first 2 months this year in the Yankees organization at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And while the Yankees starting rotation may need a little bit of help, they've got a loaded bullpen there in New York.
Yes, they do.
But a 2-strike base hit and a nice piece of hitting by Leonis Martin. His second hit of the night. He's aboard with 1 out. So Cody Allen getting loose in the bullpen. Andre, what's the latest with Cody Allen?
Well, I know some people hear that and see that it's only the 7th inning and are wondering why Cody Allen is warming up. What Terry Francona has told me over the last few days is he wants Cody to go out and compete and not think about the mechanical issues he's had over the last few weeks. So he feels like if he gets him in games with runners on or runners not on, when it's not a closing situation, he can work better on getting back to competing and being the old Cody Allen that he was. And he said he can do this now that he has Brad Hand here to close games out. So that's what's going on. There's nothing wrong with them. They just want to get him mechanically fixed sooner than later.
And Cody Allen will be coming on right here as Oliver Perez exits after 1 batter. We'll give you more on Cody Allen when we come back. Bottom of the 7th with 1 on. Detroit and Cleveland are tied at 3 with 1 out. On to pitch that 7th for the Tribe.
Well, here he comes. He's going to come on. He's going to get Candelario, who's the switch hitter anyway. He's a little better from the right side of the plate. So Cody comes in, and you got a tough out in Castellanos on deck.
There's the numbers on Cody Allen this year. So obviously, if there were to be a closing situation tonight, Brad Hand would be the guy.
Absolutely.
So Jeimer Candelario, 1 for 3, singled his last time up, but cut down trying to stretch that single into a double by Michael Brantley. And you heard Andre talking earlier. They want to get Cody worked out a little bit. He's in a little bit of a slump here in July.
Well, mechanically, there's something that's not right. I mean, he's had a tough time throwing strikes. They got to get him to try and get the baseball down, and he hasn't really had his curveball, a good one, consistently this year. For him, like you're used to seeing.
He'll keep Martin close. Martin 7 for 10 in stolen bases this year.
Well, remember, they've already made 2 outs on the bases in this ball game. Man thrown out at second, and man thrown out at home.
Time called at the plate.
That's what a hitter has to do, and that pitcher comes set, and you're holding on a base stealer where they'll hold the ball and hold the ball. At the plate, you don't like sitting waiting, so that's what you do. You call timeout.
There's a strike. Tigers took the early lead in this one 2-0 with 2 unearned runs in the third. Indians tied at top of the fifth on a 2-run homer by Francisco Lindor. Then the Tribe and Tigers traded solo home runs. Yonder Alonso for the Indians, Victor Martinez for the Tigers. That's where we are now, even at 3. A ground ball to first. Alonso, nice glove work, throws to second for 1, back to first, double play. Cody Allen gets the Tribe out of it. The big assist from the infield. And Yonder Alonso, the smooth pick and throw to second base, starts the 3-6-3 twin killing. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Indians and Tigers even at 3. I got one fan who's a little bit tired.
Oh, yeah.
Eyes are still open, though.
He's had a long day. He's hoping for some runs for the Indians.
Got a new pitcher for Detroit, Arch. It's Joe Jimenez.
Well, this guy having a really nice year. He's only 23 years old. He was named to the American League All-Star team for the first time. And he's the youngest at 23 Tiger since 1992, and Travis Fryman was 23, was named to the team. So he's having that kind of year for the Tigers.
He'll face Brantley, Ramirez, and Encarnacion. Hitters 2, 3, and 4 in Terry Francona's lineup to lead off the top of the 8th inning. As Michael Brantley looks at ball 1. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a single back in the 3rd inning. Flew out in the 1st inning, and back in the 5th he popped out to the 3rd baseman. Tribe tonight with 3 runs on 5 hits. The Tigers 3 runs on 8 hits.
I was going to say they only had 5 hits, but a couple of long balls. That has done all the damage.
That's been a big key for the Indians this year. Tonight a 2-run homer for Lindor is 26th. A solo shot for Alonso is 17th. And Jimenez ahead of Brantley here, 1 and 2. Brantley taking that one, just missed.
Let's see, that ball just a little bit low.
Brantley stays alive with the infield shift on against him. Well, Brantley, the further he's gone in his career, the tougher he has been to strike out. He knows the strike zone so well, Arch, and it's hard to get one by.
He's not afraid, and we've said this for years, to hit with 2 strikes. And once you know that the strike zone like he does. You don't offer it pitches just off the plate.
Wasted another pretty good pitch. So against the shift arch, I mean, Brantley can go the other way. Again, he pulls it more often than not.
Yeah, his hit tonight went the other way. You know, take me the other way. A little line drive to left center field.
Tried to there, but fouls it off.
Yeah, if he gets a pitch elevated and he gets some swinging room, he can just sit out there and serve it to left field. You know, they may force him to try and use those hands and try and make him pull a ball. That's when you want to get the ground ball on that side.
Eighth pitch of the at bat coming here from Jimenez to Brantley. Sends that one to short and by the shortstop. Actually by Candelario, who was in the shortstop position with the shift. Michael Brantley beats it with an opposite field hit. Just what we talked about. Tough guy to strike out, goes the other way.
Yeah, and he was able to get it under the glove of Candelario. He had to take a couple of steps to his left. You'll see it from high atop, but had enough on that pitch. It just got by him. He thought he was going to slide, make the catch, and get up and throw him out, but he got into center field. Second time tonight, the leadoff man was aboard. And the first time, they scored 2. That was back in the 5th.
Jose Ramirez now looking for his first hit of the night. He was on base back in the 3rd inning by the walk. It's 30 home runs, 2nd in baseball. One and one to Jose Ramirez. The Indians with the go-ahead run at first base and nobody out here in this 8th inning. Well, there's a throwback jersey to about 1988.
I didn't see that.
Indians jersey. We saw a Rick Manning jersey down there tonight too.
There's one hiding out there.
Your 1970s blue top edition. Number 28. Ramirez in a hitter's count with a little bit of speed at first, and Michael Brantley. Now 3-1.
Nice pick. Backhanded stab there by McCann. Any ball in the dirt now, if he can move up a base, that would be beautiful. But he picked it nicely, and Ramirez now in a good count. So McCann wants to go out and talk to Jimenez to see, all right, let's go. What do we want to do here? Not that you want to walk him, but you got to make a pretty darn good pitch here.
Yep. And with Ramirez in this hitter's count and Brantley at first base, do you start him here because he's got to throw a strike?
Not 3-1. He doesn't have to, because you know he could get him to swing it. But if you get to 3-2, I would say yes, I'd start him there. Right here, let Jose be, because if he gets a pitch to his liking, you know he's going to swing.
And it's ball 4. So the Indians with the first 2 aboard here in the 8th inning, with nobody out in a tie game at 3 for Edwin Encarnacion.
Now you're in business. First 2 guys aboard.
And it'll be a great time for Edwin to get his first hit of the night. He struggled against Mike Fiers, was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And now he'll face Joe Jimenez. The infield shift on this time for Edwin. 3 infielders on the left, and he doesn't get cheated when he swings. Wilson and Stumpf again up in the Tigers bullpen. They were up before. And Edwin quickly down to the count, 0-2. And Edwin just got a piece to stay alive. Tigers with 2 unearned runs in the 3rd inning. Lindor tied in the 5th with a 2-run homer, then solo shots by Alonso and Martinez.
Well, he almost picked up that ball right out of the glove. It looked like it was almost by him.
He just stayed alive. That time he didn't get a piece. So Jimenez with a big strikeout, the first out of the inning. Yonder Alonso comes to the plate tonight. Didn't start off well for him with this throwing error that eventually led to an unearned run. But then Yonder Alonso would get the runner here at the plate. And then he'd get a run back offensively. And then how about this 3-6-3 double play, Rick? About as pretty as it gets.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Yes, indeed. Hey, this guy's getting it up there, boy. You're seeing a lot of swing and missing going on now.
Arch, how much does it help that he hit the home run on Wednesday against a hard-throwing lefty? And he told me he shortened his swing, and I thought that helped him hit the home run the other night.
I think it's beautiful if he can continue, because if this guy's throwing, he's throwing almost as hard as he did the other night. But I'll tell you what, you got to turn it up a little more or shorten it. He's down 0-2. Boy, those base runners got on, and it looks like Jimenez got tough. Yeah, that homer the other day back in Cleveland off the left-hander, man, he was throwing 96, 97.
Yonder stays alive here. So he'll be called on once again to deliver a base hit and untie this game. You saw the numbers, his 4 home runs since the All-Star break. The top 3 in that category in Major League Baseball. One and 2 to Yonder Alonso, who has 17 home runs on the season. He's reached base twice tonight. He walked in the 2nd, homered in the 6th. Sends that one into the seats, foul once again.
Been a steady diet of fastballs, Sal. He's just throwing him that fastball away. Now McCann's going to go out there and see, maybe we want to try something else just for a pitch to take him off the heater. You see, they're talking about it right now.
I'm curious to see if he's going to go to that well again.
Well, in this ballpark, with the way the right field porch is, if he's going to beat you, you got to make him go to left center field. If you're Jimenez and the Tigers, force him to hit that ball to left center. There.
That's where he goes. Base hit to left center. Around third comes Brantley. They'll send him. The throw will come to third. And the Indians have the lead. Yonder Alonso with 2 strikes goes opposite field for the RBI single to put the Tribe ahead.
And I'll tell you, that was a beautiful swing. He shortened it up. He went to left center field. He took what was given. They were not going to pitch him in to where he could pull the ball. And it was elevated a little bit. That helped him out go the other way. But really a big hit. And it's not going to take Gardy much time to go out there and get his 8th inning guy out of there. So he gives up the run after a hit, a walk, and now a big base hit there gives the Indians a 4-3 lead. Nicely done.
How about that? Yonder Alonso with the base hit. 3rd time tonight he's been on base. 2nd RBI, and the Indians have the lead 4-3 as Stumpf is coming in next for Detroit. We'll tell you about him when we come back. Indians on top in Motown. Browns, and tonight Nathan Zagura, Tony Grossi, and Doug Deacon will break down Myles Garrett and the defense. Nathan will go one-on-one with receiver Jarvis Landry. And the guys break down the Browns' crowded backfield. Who will see the bulk of the carries? We'll find out tonight on Training Camp Daily. It's presented by 7-Up. It is tonight at 11 o'clock on Sports Time, Ohio. New pitcher for the Tigers. Arch their 4th one tonight. It's Daniel Stumpf.
Yeah, they went with Cabrera coming up here. They wanted to put him over to the right side of the plate, but Tito pinch hits Brandon Geyer.
So Geyer in for Cabrera, whose night is over after he was 1 for 3. And the numbers on Brandon Geyer this year, who lately has been swinging the bat fairly well.
Yeah, he hits left-handers very well.
There goes the runner to third, and Geyer fouls it off. It appeared, though, Jose Ramirez would have stolen that base easily. Great job.
Tell you, I like the idea right there, but Geyer liked the pitch. That's why he swung at it. But he did have a very good jump, and Alonso, he wasn't going anywhere because it surprised him. Watch him. Boom. He was off. They never made him stop. So you'll have to re-rack it and go back. 0-2 count now on Geyer.
That went inside. And that's also forced Goodrum now a little bit closer to the bag at second base. The second baseman is Ramirez getting
That's
a big
what you
lead.
have to do if you want to hold him. You got to pinch out there and keep that guy close so he can't steal. It's easier to steal third with a left-hander on the mound.
And you just saw the splits on Geyer and that huge difference, lefties versus righties. So Brandon, the pinch hitter here for Melky Cabrera. And he got a piece to stay alive.
Barely got a piece of that breaking ball coming down in the end.
Brandon enters tonight's game as a pinch hitter on a 4-game hitting streak. He's also hitting .323 this year with runners in scoring position. So a good opportunity for him here, but he's down in the count 1-2. Fouls that one off to stay alive. Ramirez at second base for the try. Alonso at first. And the 1-2 to Brandon Geyer. Got a good swing at that one. Deep to left. Forget it. 3-run homer. Brandon Geyer with 2 strikes. The pinch hitter comes through.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he was pumped. He went down and hit a good pitch out of the ballpark. And I got to see his reaction because it was priceless.
3rd career pinch hit home run for Brandon Geyer.
Makes it a 7-3 game. Watch us react right here. Down. There you go. Yes. He knew he got enough of it, and there was 3 on the board. He went down and hit a pretty good fastball down there and got it out of the ballpark.
Well, the Indians offense has demolished the Tigers bullpen here in the 8th inning. 4 runs to erase a 3-3 tie and put the Indians ahead by the largest lead of the night for either side. 7-3 Tribe with 4 runs home, and now Jason Kipnis at the plate with an 0-2 count.
3rd home run for the Indians tonight. They've had a solo homer, a 2-run homer, and now a 3-run homer.
6 out of the 7 runs have been scored thanks to the long ball as Jason Kipnis stays alive. Boy, Brandon Geyer, what a tough at bat there. Down in the count, 0-2, fought off some pitches. That one was a low pitch that he golfed out of here, and it was a no-doubter.
He's starting to get a little confidence going now, is what he's doing.
5-game hitting streak now for Brandon Geyer. Seems small, but when you're a part-time player, it's definitely something to be proud of. As Jason Kipnis goes down swinging. 7th strikeout tonight for Tigers pitching. 2 down here in the 8th. That'll bring Yan Gomes to the plate. Gomes struck out his first time up, but hit the ball well his next 2 times. A single back in the 5th inning. He would eventually score on the Lindor homer and then lined out to Candelario in the 7th. Boy, this Tigers crowd here tonight, not a bad one on a Friday night, 26,000. It has gone silent.
Yeah, it sure had. Well, 4 runs in the 8th inning will do that to you when you're in a tie ball game. And you know, I think when I really love the at bat Alonso had, and then when you come up and deliver like a knockout punch for Geyer, a 3-run home run late. Boy, that's really good.
2-1 to the Tribe catcher, Yan Gomes, 1 for 3 this evening. Fouls that one off, and you talk about managerial moves. So we see Brandon Geyer, the pinch hitter, come to the plate. Boy, look at this one go.
Yeah, what a move. You pinch hit for Cabrera there, who's he's a switch hitter. But they put Geyer in and they said, here we go. We're gonna go for it. He hit the home run.
As Gomes stays alive. So Ron Gardenhire says, I want a lefty to face Melky Cabrera and swing him around to the right. Tito Francona says, I'll see that move and I'll up you one with Brandon Geyer, who will bat from the right side.
And it paid off. It really did. That was their first pinch hit home run this year. And that was their 60th at bat. So Geyer, the pinch hitters on the year out of the 60, only had 3 RBIs. He did it with 1 swing. And the first home run.
And as we talked about, his 3rd career pinch hit homer, so he knows a little bit something about sending it out deep late in the game as a pinch hitter. Meanwhile, Yan Gomes having a pretty good at bat here against Stumpf as he works the count full. So the Indians with 4 runs home here in this 8th inning to break the game open just a little bit. This is the 9th pitch coming up for Yan Gomes. Indians, Arch, tonight have had a number of at-bats where they've worked deep into the count.
Yes, 8, 9. Yes, working them tough.
Gomes will see at least 10 pitches in this at-bat. Well, Joe Jimenez came on to start this inning. He put the first 2 on with nobody out, struck out Encarnacion, but then Alonso with a single to drive in a run and make it 4-3. He was out. Stumpf came in. Geyer hit a 3-run homer. And Gomes pops that one to the right side. This one will stay in play. And Goodrum makes the catch for the 3rd out. So the Indians retired in the 8th, but they do damage. 4 runs scored. 3 of them came on this blast by Brandon Geyer. Tribe up 7-3. storylines for tonight's game. They're brought to you by your Ford dealers. And the Indians tonight, well, Fires wasn't bad. They got to the bullpen, and they have held, for the most part, Castellanos in check.
Yeah, he had the RBI double.
And he will lead off the bottom of the 8th inning here for Detroit. That double and a run scored back in the 3rd. There's Brandon Guyer remaining in the game in right field. Cody Allen, who came on to get the double play ball in the 7th, starts the 8th inning. And right now, if this score holds, Cody Allen would be in line for the win. And quickly, he's ahead of Castellanos, 0-2.
2 quick darts coming in. 1 away, 1 in.
Now, Allen not messing around here with the 4-run lead. And this position here in which he's pitching setup tonight, Arch, not unfamiliar to him. That's what he was when he came up. And he said when the Indians acquired Andrew Miller, hey, I'll pitch in whatever role you want me to. So this is not a role that's something that's completely foreign to him.
Well, they're trying to get him worked out. And this is a time where he can go out tonight and work on that fastball, you know, locating it and this. And then occasionally maybe mix in that curveball. It's been all fastballs in this at-bat. So, you know, you like to see him just get something going where he can feel something, and hopefully he can take something away from this appearance and build on it from there. As the pitching coach looking on.
Two and two now to Castellanos. Allen has always had late life on that fastball, can get it up to about 97 at times. That curveball for him, excellent depth, has been so good. Grounder to short. Routine for Lindor. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Tomorrow, one of baseball's best rivalries is renewed as Anthony Rizzo and the Cubs travel to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern on FS1 or stream it live on the Fox Sports Go app. I like that app. I use that quite a bit. Fox Sports Go.
You're always on the go.
There you go. That's good. I tell you what, we'll talk to you about maybe doing some promos. So 1 out here in the 8th inning, and swinging at the first pitch he sees is Goodrum from Allen, and that's a can of corn to left field. Michael Brantley drifting to left center records the 2nd out, and 2 quick ones away here in the 8th inning. Now Victor Martinez, who homered his last time up. At the time, it tied the game at 3. But since then, the Indians have scored 4 in the top half of this 8th inning. It completely changed the game from where it was then. Martinez has reached all 3 times tonight. Walked his first time up. The extremely rare, Rick, as you and I talked about, infield single for him back in the 3rd, and then the homer. The Indians with that shift. Jason Kipnis very deep, and he hit it in the hole and was able to beat it out barely.
Yeah, that's a rarity.
And because he does lack that speed, that allows Kipnis and Lindor to play even deeper with this shift.
That ball that Victor hit out of the ballpark in his last at bat from Carrasco was a little breaking ball down. He went down, and I think it was below the strike zone, and he golfed it out of here. That made it 3-3 after the Indians scored 1 in the top half of the 6th. They came right back on the first hitter and tied the game.
The 2-1 from Allen. Sends that one to deep right. If it's fair, forget it, but it hooks foul. Man, drove that one.
Yes, he did.
So let's take a look back to that 6th inning homer, Arch.
All right, there you go. A little spinner down in the zone. And it's not coming back. That's a souvenir first row. Nice catch by the fan. Didn't really recognize that earlier, but not a bad play.
Again, the 2-2 to Victor. Now the count runs full. Well, Martinez has had a good week. So he's discussed earlier, 6 for 12 against the Royals in that series in Kansas City, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tonight, 2 for 2. So 8 for his last 14, counting tonight, in his last 4 games. Plus, he's had that walk this evening as well. And he checks his swing in time, and he will reach base for the 4th time tonight. But there are 2 outs. That'll bring John Hicks to the plate. But before he steps in, Terry Francona is coming to the mound, and Cody Allen's night is done. So an inning and a third for Cody. He got out of that 7th inning when it was still tied with the double play ball. And Adam Cimber coming into the game to face John Hicks. More on that matchup in moments. Cleveland up 7-3. With 2 outs and 1 on, stay tuned after the game for Indians Live. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. I'll be joined by Jensen Lewis here in the booth, and we've got plenty to discuss tonight. Pretty close game. And the Indians with 4 runs in the top of the 8th to get some breathing room as Adam Cimber comes in, the sidewinding, submarining right-hander from San Diego that the Indians acquired in the trade about a week ago. Look at the numbers on Cimber between San Diego and Cleveland. He'll face John Hicks. Jim Adducci has come into the game to pinch run for Victor Martinez at first base.
Yeah, this is Cimber's 4th appearance for the Indians.
Adducci sends that one foul to even the count at 1-1. Cimber attended the University of San Francisco, was a teammate there of Bradley Zimmer, who's on the disabled list at AAA for the Tribe, drafted by San Diego in 2013. Grew up in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon. Two and 1 to Hicks. Cimber was a pitcher that Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff said the Indians were interested in for a little while. And there's a base hit to right as Hicks fought it off. That'll send Ducci to third. And now the Tigers with runners at the corners here with 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Well, you go inside there, and he just fought it off and threw it into right field. It might have been in off the plate because he didn't get much of it, but he put it in the right spot, right on about the inside corner. Gets it over the head of Alonso, so this inning will continue. It'll be runners at first and third. Still 2 out.
And Simber can't be too upset with that pitch. It was off the plate.
I mean, there's nothing you could do there. He got it inside. He fought it off.
So now runners at the corners for James McCann. To center field where there's plenty of room. Rajay Davis doesn't have to move. Third out here in the 8th inning. Detroit retired as the Indians bullpen does the job. We'll head to the 9th. 7-3, the Indians lead the Tigers in Motown. Plays of the game for the Tribe as we go back to the 8th inning. It was tied at 3. Yonder Alonso with an opposite field single to put the Indians ahead 4-3. And then Brandon Geyer as a pinch hitter, Arch, delivers a 3-run blast.
Yeah, that's the damage one right there. That was Geyer's 5th. The Indians with 3 home runs on the night. Solo shot, 2-run homer and a 3-run homer, so 6 of their 7 runs scored via the long ball.
5th pitcher for Detroit tonight is Victor Alcantara. The Indians with 4 runs off Jimenez and Stumpf last inning. Rajay Davis will lead it off, 0 for 3 tonight. He swings at the first pitch and breaks his bat as it goes to left. Reyes hauls it in for the first out. So 1 away here in the 9th inning for Francisco Lindor, who got to Mike Fiers in the 5th inning when the Indians were down 2-0. And until that time, Arch, you felt like, boy, Fiers might be able to go a couple more innings. He was dealing, but Lindor changed all of that with that 2-run blast.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, Fiers, he didn't pitch poorly. I mean, he gave up the 2 home runs. That's basically it. But he held them in check for the most part. I mean, 5 hits allowed.
So here it is for Lindor back in the 5th inning.
Yeah, he got on the fastball right there and gave it a ride. His 26th on the year. That one swing tied it up.
Just foul there as Sandy Alomar avoids it.
Well, another extra base hit for Lindor. And don't be surprised. This guy multi-hit games. He's right there as far as league leaders go.
Hits that one to right field. Hit it well. It's over Castellanos' head, and it's gone. It makes it out. The second homer tonight for Lindor. 27 on the year. The Indians up 8-3.
Well, I tell you, extra base hits. He now passes Ramirez. He has 61 extra base hits, and he now leads the league with 41 multi-hit games. And that was a line shot that got out of here in a hurry. I mean, to tell you, man, that was down, and that was just a line shot over the wall.
Yeah, that was a line drive. Francisco Lindor, second home run tonight. 27 on the year now. 66 runs batted in for the Tribe leadoff hitter.
Yeah, just continues to get better and better. When you think, how can you get much better than what he's done to this point? He just continues.
So Lindor with those 27 homers, 34 doubles, Arch.
Yeah.
No triples, interestingly enough. But he just keeps delivering extra base hits.
Yes, he does. Scoring runs, 2 more runs scored. He leads the league in that department as well. Just he's got 90 runs scored, Al, and we haven't hit August yet.
Yeah.
Got a couple of months to go.
Brantley to left field. Candelario, who was over on the shift, able to track it down. Let's go back to June 25th, 2016, Arch. His first career, Lindor's 2 home run game right here at Comerica Park.
Well, it doesn't surprise you. He's had some great memories in this ballpark. Not only his first 2 home run game, is also his first major league hit came in this ballpark. So he's going to have memories like that for a long time.
Some milestones for Frankie here at Comerica Park, no doubt. And you talk about a leadoff hitter and what he brings. Scoring runs is the first thing. You got to get on base, you got to score, but he does everything else.
Yeah, and Frankie, he loves that. That's his goal. He wants to spark this club. He wants to be the leadoff hitter, and he wants to generate runs. And he is. He's like the straw, man, that's stirring the drink. He's the igniter.
Team leader in the clubhouse. Excellent defender. Now perennial all-star. Ramirez high in the air to right center. Tigers have this surrounded. B. Martin for the second out. And tonight, Francisco Lindor. Huge for the Indians. 2 home runs, including his latest here in the 9th. Tribe leads at 8-3. Bottom of the 9th next.
And it'll be a new pitcher for the Indians. It's going to be Dan Otero coming on. He's going to try and get the final 3 outs here. Otero appearing for the 40th time. And the Indians have really taken control of this ball game now. 8-3, 4 home runs on the night. Go off to hopefully a good start here on this road trip.
Indeed. 3 here this weekend in Motown, then 3 in Minnesota. Hitters 8, 9, and 1 due up for Ron Gardenhire with Iglesias, Reyes, and Martin. So Adam Simber came on in the 8th inning, got the job done. Now it's Dan Otero's turn. So he delivers ball 1 to Jose Iglesias. Strikeout, a walk, and a pop up his last time up. This was a close game until the 8th inning. Tied at 3 heading into the top of the 8th. The Indians put 4 runs on the board, highlighted by a 3-run pinch hit homer by Brandon Guyer.
And they got to their all-star reliever, Joe Jimenez.
Yep.
He gave up 3 of the 4 runs in that inning. That was the big blow. Brandon Guyer's home run. Their first pinch hit home run this year.
Two and 2 now to Jose Iglesias. So Dan Otero trying to finish this one out, giving Brad Hand a rest tonight. Otero, the 5th relief pitcher for the Tribe. We've seen Oliver Perez, Cody Allen, Simber, and then Otero. Bouncing ball up the middle. Lindor has to hold on to it. So an infield single for Iglesias leads off the 9th.
Perfectly placed. Soft contact Otero got, but he hit it right over his head and up the middle. Nothing Lindor could do with it. Just hold on to it.
It's always tough on a pitcher too. You get a bouncing ball like that. You did your job.
Yeah, I mean it's really out of your control. He had soft contact. Iglesias put it in play and put it in the right spot. That's 10 hits now for the Tigers.
Yeah, they have 3 runs on 10 hits, while the Indians have 8 runs on only 9.
Long ball. That's the difference.
That is the
baby.
difference. Yes, sir.
The Tigers with 1. It was a solo shot. The Indians with 4.
And that has been the difference tonight. 7 of the 8 runs the Indians have scored have come via the long ball. 0-2 now to Victor Reyes. Reached on an error back in the 3rd inning, stole a base, and then scored. One and 2 now to the Tigers left fielder. Again, stick around after the game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's.
You guys gonna have a little noise in the background tonight, won't you?
Fireworks night here in Detroit.
Show, right?
They'll be going off for the Tribe. Reyes, nice job just fighting that one off. Another foul ball into the seats. So Reyes hanging in there. Minnesota Twins having a good week. They cut the Indians' lead down to 7 in the Central coming into tonight. They lead the Red Sox again at Fenway Park, 3-2 in the 9th inning.
Yeah, they were down 2-1.
Up the middle, Lindor, diving stop. He'll get to second base. Was he in time? He was.
I'll tell you what, how about that play?
Boy, oh boy, Lindor needed every inch of his frame to corral that one. Iglesias doesn't think he's out.
Well, Frankie knew. He got up and he says, I can beat him to the bag. And I mean, what a great stop. He on the dive. Yeah, he got him. He got there. He just couldn't get the out at first base when he tried on Reyes. But a nice play to get that, and it was close.
So Reyes aboard at first base on the fielder's choice. Iglesias erased at second base.
You know, that right there, that play, that's a field play because he knew it was going to be a tough flip to get it to Kipnis, but he realized, I'm sure he picked up the base runner and realized he could beat him to the bag, and he did.
There goes Reyes, but that ball fouled off the foot of Leonis Martin.
Yeah, they're playing behind him, so it doesn't matter with the left-handed bat. They're giving you second base, so they're going to take it.
Martin hitting over 300 against the Indians this year with 2 more singles tonight. Also struck out and flew out. Boy, every series it seems Lindor does something special with the glove. He has 2 homers tonight.
Yeah.
And then he shows you what he can do defensively. That game in Boston, Arch, Kimbrel was trying for the 4-out save. They got a 2-run double in the 9th inning.
Eddie Rosario?
Yep.
Nice.
To take that 3-2 lead.
Tough to do in that ballpark.
It sure is.
I mean, it's you just never know in that yard. We have yet to play the Red Sox yet.
That'll be coming up in August.
Yes. We'll have a 4-game series there. Nice changeup.
Otero going off speed with the 83-mile-per-hour change, and it's now 2-2 to Leonis Martin. In search of his 3rd hit of the night. And a swing and a miss. Danny Otero, his first strikeout tonight, the 9th for Tri pitching.
How about that? Change the eye level. He followed that changeup up with a high fastball, and he put a little something extra on this. This is a 4-seam fastball, not a sinker. So he rode that high fastball above the belt. That was a nice sequence there by Otero.
So Jeimer Candelario with 2 outs in the 9th, and the try by 5 takes strike 1 from Dan Otero. Candelario tonight 1 for 4. Singled back in the 5th inning. But grounded into a key double play, that 3-6-3 twin killing back in the 7th. With runners at first and second and 1 out against Cody Allen. At the time the game was even at 3.
Yeah.
And the Indians built off that. 4 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th, and now they're up by 5.
Smashed the first baseman. He stepped on the bag or threw it to second, came right back to the bag to get the 3-6-3 double play.
And now Detroit down to their last strike. Yonder Alonso, a nice night defensively. Made that error early. It led to 2 unearned runs, but a couple of nice glove plays after that. And he had the solo home run, and right now it would be the game-winning RBI when he broke a 3-3 tie in the 8th inning with an RBI single to left. And a grounder to first. Alonso takes it himself, and the game is over. Final score tonight in Detroit: the Indians 8, the Tigers 3. Time of the game 3 hours and 10 minutes. And the Indians take the first one in Motown, with game 2 coming up tomorrow night at 6. And Cody Allen will get the win for the Tribe tonight. So the Indians with some big time offense late and using the long ball, Arch, as you were talking about. 4 home runs tonight, 2 of those by Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, good way to start this trip out. It was Mike fires a guy who has pitched well against him, but they get even with the long ball. Carrasco pitched very well, although he had a no decision, but the late